It's like when we I know you know this story. When we moved in Southeast, I know being the youngest, I didn't get any slack. And this one morning, everybody got ready for school, and I was running behind. And when I walked out the door, my sisters and brothers, they was way up the street.
Yeah.
And so I decided I wasn't going to school. So I went in the back with all the dogs. I decided I'm going to hide out in the dog house. I was in the second grade.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in second grade. So
Okay,
I decided to do that. But that day, my mother was home from work. I didn't know. She said she heard the dogs, because the dog we had, we always had a lot of dogs. And the dog had like 7 or 8 puppies, and they was making a lot of noise. She came to check. She looked in the dog house. She reached in and grabbed me out, gave me a beating. Boy, she whooped my butt, set me down, gave me some lunch, and made me walk to school. I still end up going to school. So instead, I took I took the shortcut, which ended up being the long way. I ended up getting a beating. At least she fed me.
Took a shortcut, ended up being the long way.
Yeah,
it's a life lesson.
And I still end up, instead of running, catching up with my sisters and brother, I end up walking to school by myself. So just little things like kids. But you know what? Those things, if not corrected, they escalate.
Right.
Then I get up. I go steal a bike. Then I get older, I steal a car. So those things evolve if not corrected.
Yeah.
And that's why I say when you don't have that guidance and that discipline, and a shout out to a lot of mothers, who raise their children, not just sons, but their children, without the father, because unfortunately and sadly, that was the norm in our neighborhood. In my
Count me down from 5 on.
Okay.
What was that? Just give me a countdown from 5 on, and I do my thing.
I apologize. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
and we are live back at it. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a special guest for you in the building. That's right, you can see him below on the screen. Make sure it's on the right screen. Yep, let's check that again. Got a special guest for you. See in the corner right there and do something new. Just me and this man right here. I've known him for a very long time. Some would say all my life. Some would say he even knew me before I knew myself. Let me introduce to you the man, the myth, still working to be a legend. Pops, how you doing? What's going on with you?
I'm good, man.
If I had a little soundboard and I could press get the audience clapping and whatnot.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. This is good. You and I doing this. We talked about this for a while, so we finally, got to do it. We had a trial at one time, had some audio technical difficulties, but you really fix this, put some work in. I see where your work is paying off at, and doing good, man. Doing good. I'm proud of you as a son.
Oh, well, thank you. Remember the last time we was in here, and this is a shed that we turned into a studio. Me, AJ working when he's down in Virginia, mostly me and Jenny in here working. Got some flooring, little carpet, couch back there was free.
Yeah.
Chairs are cheap. The desk was cheap. Everything in here is, cost effective.
That's the key. And you had to do like Joe Gibbs during the Super Bowl era, like when he used to watch video, he used to stay. And, at Redskin Park and spend the night. So you got to spend the night, a couple of nights in here, and just put 24 hours in.
Yeah, I know how much the family appreciate that.
Productivity. Yeah, productivity.
I've been in here hours. Jenny over there doing the homework, kids in bed. I'm over here just working, trying to fix audio issues and whatnot. AJ came up last week, as you know, and he helped out a lot as well, too. So
Yeah. So, shout out to him and word around town. His studio's looking good as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's putting work in. So, as y'all studios, y'all podcasts rather coming together, you just got to give it time. As we're saying these days, it's the process.
Trust the process.
That's right. Trust it. Give it time. And then, as we talk a little bit later in doing our dialogue is how, the millennials and the baby boomers, just the difference of that. But we'll get into that.
We'll get into it. But I want to get into something else.
What's that?
You
Okay.
had a birthday recently. 57, 58?
Hey,
You're talking baby boomers. You want
listen.
to give your age away.
Hey, listen. You know, I had a birthday on July the 26th. Thank God. You know, I had a healthy birthday, first of all.
Okay.
You know, I have a tradition on my birthday that I do.
What, you don't pick up the phone for anyone calls?
Nah, that's all the texts and the shout outs for everybody, you know. And
Yeah, absolutely.
you know, we had your mother and I, we had a great time. Went to a restaurant. Actually, we went to MGM, and you know, went to a steakhouse there, and I actually went to the casino. I'm not a gambler or whatever, but we enjoy ourselves.
You play fantasy football.
Yeah, but I just play fantasy football. You know,
Isn't that gambling?
not if you don't put money on it. You know, but it's nothing wrong.
You're not
you
good
know.
enough to put money on it yet.
Listen.
You're still in the minor leagues.
No, I'm major. I'm major league.
I'll bring it
Listen,
to the majors one day. You ain't ready for that right now.
I learned.
Yeah. How much money did you lose that night?
You're assuming the loss.
I got the text from Mike.
No. Actually, on the blackjack table, I poured away. I came in the positive. I was, you know, going back and forth with hands, and then I walked away with like $16. Not a big amount. But not a big amount, but then those little slot machines, you know, I threw 2 20s in there and ate it up. So that was out negative.
There goes Rick and Jess college tuition.
Hey, you just saw them. I just donated to them.
Okay.
You know, as soon as I came in, you know, they had their little lollipops and some money to go with it. You know, Jet, he put it right.
Oh, I remember you coming home bringing me a lollipop and $5.
You know why? Because I came home, you had a roof over your head, you had clothing and food and health care. You had all the necessities. Then, you know, we paid for you to play football. When I was little, we just signed up. We didn't pay to play football. They actually cut back in the days, and my boys.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, they used to cut.
Oh, wow.
Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah, Boys and Girls Club ain't doing that these days.
No.
So you didn't pay, and
no, you signed up.
Okay.
And you know, they actually they would put you on like a just like when I coach football. They would put you first. Everybody trial for the A team or, you know, A, AA, things like that. But in our league, it was A and B when I coached. So it's pretty similar to in the Boys and Girls Club. But when I grown up, there was no B team. It was just one. It was just one squad. You know, different weight class. But you know, kids, hey,
things change.
Yeah, a lot.
That's a baby boomer generation right there.
Hey.
You ain't good enough. You out of here.
Solid.
I like it.
No, you gotta learn. You gotta learn not to quit.
Yeah, I got nothing against that.
You can't quit.
Yeah.
Everybody doesn't get a trophy. You go 0-11 for the season, but you still have a banquet to get a trophy. Because mommy and daddy paid at the beginning of the season.
I've always
resilience.
You was coaching for a while.
Yeah.
You did your 15 years. Are you officially retired?
Yeah, man, you grown up. I'll come out of retirement for, you know, the grandbabies, just teaching them. But as far as, you know, the way that I did it before, nah, you know, just investing.
So,
because I see they all of them, you know, Noah, Jet and Ricky, you know, doing their soccer thing, and you know, even watching them in karate, the boys, they're doing their thing. So it's just guidance, and you know, and really seeing where they go, what avenue they're gonna go down.
Right.
Doesn't have to be sports. But, you know, you want to give them that, you know, that competition. You want to teach them competition early in life and let them know not to, you know, bow down, you know, the competition, because it gets rough, man.
Oh, yeah.
You know, competition, you know, is every day. You know, what I did last year at work, you know, that's last year. You know, that's last year. It's like, okay, today, new productivity, you know.
Yeah, I noticed that you kind of retired at the same time the Sandusky court case was going on. Nah, that's a joke right there. I
know.
I'll clean that up real quick for you.
Yeah,
I don't want those words getting twisted.
Same thing I told Patrick. You don't go on me, and I won't come on you. But we good, nah. But that, you know, that was crazy. You know, just the way sports are for kids, you know, to enjoy it. It's not. I mean, and you saw it, you know, when we, you know, even going like when I coached you and how the older kids, the teenagers, you know, they were like 8th graders, then they wasn't quite JV. But then some of them were 9th graders. They didn't play JV. They chose to play the last year of youth football.
Right.
But remember how they used to, you know, the older kids would fight at night. You know, and they had
140s.
Yeah.
You know, I remember that. They were good. They lose for 3 straight years.
Yeah. They were solid, but not so much about the
Shout
team.
out Severn.
Not so much about the team. It was about the parents. That's the point that I'm getting to, is that how the parents take the fun away from the kids. You know, because when you're dealing with football, you're already dealing with a very gladiator sport.
Yeah,
very
intense.
So a lot of tensions and emotions are up. You know, on the coaching sideline, players in the game. You know, and of course the fans, but you don't need parents to. And there's so many video clips on YouTube or whatever source, you know, media stream you go and look on, how parents just flip it.
Oh, I know.
I've seen that. You know, unfortunately, I've seen. I remember it was right after our game one year, and Severn was playing Andover, and a lot of these kids, you know, they went to school together, and I don't think it was one of the players, I believe it was a parent, actually had a gun.
Oh,
yeah, and this wasn't a night game. This was like a 6 p.m. game. But what they ended, and then just to end this point, what they ended up doing was moving the older group to noon to try to get some type of hold on it, because what the league noticed is that when they had the 8 o'clock games at night,
right,
they get people out there, you know, doing it. That time they drinking and you know their thought processes.
At the kids' game? That's too much.
Oh man, come on, man.
Yeah, I know.
And shout out, you know, to my man Coach Mike. Haven't seen him in years, or Roderick. You know, they you know, we were a force, man.
Y'all were good. Just couldn't get it done in the playoffs.
Yeah, you know, we had
the Black Marty Schottenheimer.
Here we go. We did go to the championship. We lost that, but we had, you know, undefeated seasons. We you know, mostly it was about character,
right?
You know, and things like that.
We got a couple basketball tournaments, a couple championships.
Let's see, there you go. Ooh, I was head coach. That's the difference, you know. You know, sports. You know, no talent.
Oh, you know, it's a good story since we talked about it. Tell the story about how Severn won a basketball game with 3 players on the court in overtime.
Oh yeah, that was
when the refs was cheating us.
You was about what, 11?
Yeah, 11.
11.
Yeah, 10, 11.
No, we had it was 8 of us. I think it was 8 or 9 of us that day. We were playing in the tournament, and we was playing this team. And the ref, I mean, he was just calling. I mean, you talking about touch fouls?
I know.
So
I picked up 5.
Yeah,
Eric,
I depended on you. You come fouling out. You fouled out, and then we had 3 players left against 5.
Right.
We ended up going to overtime, and we beat them. And what I decided, I ran a triangle defense.
Yeah.
And I told them I had 2 good ball handlers in the game.
I remember.
I had a big man. So I told them once they get the ball, you know, just protect them from coming in the paint and getting easy layups. I didn't care about the jumpers, because at then those kids, you know, their jump shots was, you know,
yes, yeah,
they wasn't
just guard the paint.
Yeah, just guard the paint, get it and go. And you know, and when when we got the ball, we went to the hole. And we was getting fouled, and the ref couldn't do anything about it. So you know, we beat them 3-on-5, you know, in overtime. And,
that's right.
You know, and that preserved us to go on to the next round.
Yeah,
things like that.
We got on the court cheering like we won the championship.
Yeah,
I mean, after that, that's amazing. Yeah.
So
and then you put us in the paper and everything.
Yeah. You know, little Severn, you know, we did our thing.
That's not really a thing anymore. That
what's that?
Kids in the paper. I remember that was big when we was playing, and you see after the game, or then like a couple days later, and the paper come out. Yeah, and the kids got all their names in it and whatnot.
Yeah, it's exciting.
I think we still got some of those clippings too.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
you know, things like that. I can't, but and that's well over 20 years.
Yeah, newspapers dying now.
Yeah,
the only time I buy newspapers for when I'm making crabs or I'm about to eat some crabs and some of that dip. That's the only time I need it.
Yeah, but actually, you know, we get a paper every morning, you know, like one of the Bowie newspapers got tossed in front.
I'm surprised it's still a business.
Yeah, newspaper like, you know, years ago the Washington Post was a big thing, the Washington Star and the Times, things like that. And that's good for children to pick up books, newspapers and read articles of what's going on in today's society besides the sports page and funny pages and things.
Right.
You got to get the mind educated, let it sponge.
This is a newspaper right now.
Yeah,
this is today's newspaper.
Yeah, and we're gonna talk about that addiction. TV, cell phones, laptops, and all those type of things.
All right, before we get into it, I want to touch on one more thing.
Sure.
We'll start the main part of the show.
Yeah, we go.
Yeah,
just relaxing.
Absolutely. You got a new job. I got a fresh promotion. Shout out to the both of us. What was the reason behind you being a elder statesman that you decided it was enough? You wanted to reinvent yourself.
Well, you got to understand something. Education is a lifetime process.
Okay.
You don't ever stop learning.
Mm-hmm.
You don't ever stop grinding. You don't ever stop, investing in the next generation. One thing, and the same thing with Rachel, So with a lot of things with our family is, a lot of great blessings is that how we, put in the work. We're not perfect, not painting a perfect picture, but I think as a family we set an example, one for the other, from our generation, your mother and I, to you, Rachel, Jenny, and AJ, to the babies, to the young kids. And it's our goal and our standard of excellence is that with your generation, that you all exceed, not just in things, but in the wisdom and knowledge above what we had, so you can teach the next generation.
Absolutely.
So, we can keep going, things like that. So education, I'm looking at the next phase already. So
what is the next phase?
Just looking in.
Don't give away too much plans, but
yeah, I know, because I'm just,
somebody to take your job.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that.
Okay,
that's why you reinvent yourself,
Yeah.
To promote leaders.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of leadership. Identifying other leaders and not being intimidated by, seeing people behind you, pull them up, help them out, and helping each other. So, and that was our theme for you all, is to really set that standard, even with school at a young age, that you all would go, we put you in a good school, which we started you and your sister out in private school.
Yeah.
And then just develop you from there, and then continue to grow.
Yeah. Same thing I felt about Rick and Jet, just getting started at a young age with everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The good thing is that you have them in activity. I think you understand the importance of activities.
Yeah.
And the same with AJ and Rachel, is that have them in organized activities. Because these streets, one thing you got to understand, son, is that these streets are undefeated. You may be able to gain some things, but just running rampant, just running rampant out there, doing random activities, that doesn't work. That's not a plan.
Yeah. I always had a question. Me doing karate, or Rick doing karate, I always wondered, like, I used to do karate too.
Yeah.
And then one day I just stopped. What happened with that? I was just curious.
Yeah, you started karate, and Rachel actually started ballet.
Oh, see, I don't remember that one at all.
Yeah, but our thing was, even when you wanted to stop playing football, it wasn't our dream.
Yeah,
we're not living vicariously through you,
like LeVar Ball.
Yeah, keep pushing you. But it was pretty much, we didn't let you quit.
Yeah,
we allowed you all to make a decision.
Okay.
So it was that, I think you were at a point where you wasn't interested in that, but you took other interests. So
okay.
So it is,
what was that, around like 5? That'd be like 4 or 5.
Actually, yeah, you did karate before you started playing football.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
So, we
vaguely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no doubt. So you got to, understand is that when one of them really lose interest in the sport, don't force them,
That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. If they want to pick up a music instrument and start playing that, or become a chess wizard,
I do have a piano in the house.
Yeah, and believe me, they're gonna start hitting them keys and start getting them lessons.
Like my man Ray Charles, he was a kid. You want to learn to play the piano?
Play this key. Play this, and he learned.
Yeah,
So that's what you have to do. You have to, because their interest may be different. Right now, they have the same interest, in what they do. So what you want to do is know how to zone in on that, what they really good at, You know, and what like I could see when both of them was at the house, they both love soccer.
Yeah,
Equally.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, equally. So, you know, that's their thing. Let them go with that. Long as their grades, because it say student athlete, you be a student first. You know, then athletics kick in, things like that.
Yeah, unless you're a for sure fire NBA draft pick.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, but you still got to be educated because who was that I saw in the paper?
Somebody's broke.
Yeah.
30 for 30. You seen that one?
Did I? I think I was telling you all about that. You know, is that you know, how do you get a contract for $68 million in 2011, and then 2017 you broke? I mean, filing bankruptcy.
You ever heard about the tragedy of Antoine Walker?
Was he on the 30 for 30?
I'm not sure if he's on that one now, but he's broke too. Same thing.
Yeah.
He was doing things that was, I mean, he had good intentions.
Yeah.
It was just bad, like looking out for his family, things like that, and they just took advantage of him.
Well, I mean, you're supposed to look out for your family. You know, once you're in a position where you're blessed and you're getting all this money, but you have to be smart. You know, you have to keep your circle.
Smart.
Yeah, you got to keep your circle small. And even with your family, some of them, you know, you're not excluding them, but when it comes to business decisions, if they always have ideas that, you know, this is what I want to do this and that, then, you know, they can be more of a crutch than an assist.
Yeah, definitely agree. Absolutely.
You know, so, you know, athletes, they get, you know, they work hard to get to the place where they at, and it's, you know, they just got to be wise. They got to, you know, really look at everything through a business eyes. You know,
that's true. You are business at that point.
Look, daddy show up at the you 21 in the NBA. All of a sudden, daddy, you know, your mother never let me see you. You just show up.
Yeah,
I'm not buying that.
Yeah, LeBron James' father.
Not feeling and Shaq too.
Yeah. Who's another one? Mike Bibby.
Man, we can go down the list.
Well, since we're gonna go down the list, let's go down this list right here. So just let everybody know, I didn't create today's show at all. That's right, shocking. Usually I do. Usually, you know, throughout the week I look for different topics, you know, tap into the universe, see what I can find. You sent me all this Monday. I was like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
We'll just run right with it. Yeah. So good to see that right there. That you're definitely down for this whole podcast thing. Absolutely happy to have you on. Who just texted me? I think Chris texted me. Chris, Patrick brother Chris.
Yeah. Everything's good with him?
Yeah, he's doing well. Yeah,
good.
Absolutely.
Good.
Yeah. All right, so let's go about it. So this isn't surprising right here. You being a older man and you're angry at technology. That's pretty much what you told me.
No. See, you have to present things correctly. You know, technology.
I'll let you go and present that right there. Yeah.
Technology is great. You know, it's efficient. It is, you know, streamlined a lot of things. You know, I worked in a system where, you know, it's a paper-based system versus, you know, technology. But the focus is more so, for example, when you go in restaurants looking at technology, how addicted people have become to technology.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's not so much, you know, knocking that, because I love, you know, like your boy Kip. Yes, I love technology.
You ever heard of this? You ever heard of this show on Netflix called Black Mirror?
No.
Okay, so it kind of goes with exactly what you're saying. I'll get back to your point too.
Okay.
So Black Mirror is a show on Netflix. It's based in near future, but the whole thing is built around the technology that mankind has invented. Like one episode, you have everybody has like contact lenses, and they can like replay history of moments in their life.
Okay.
Anybody can. Yeah. It's called a grain that was like implanted and from newborns, and you know they can just replay everything that they see. They can put it on a TV screen. I can show you something that happened last week instead of telling you a story. I just play it out for you. Yeah. But it's not so much about the technology; it's about what people do with it. Yeah. So another episode, social media, where everything is everybody has like a rating. Like you can see someone's rating. Like you know, an Uber driver, they have ratings. Yeah. But imagine that was for everybody. Like you can't walk into this restaurant unless you're, you know, 4 out of 5 stars rated. So it's things like that right there.
That's crazy. I mean, do you think we're that far from that?
No. I think it's extremely close. I think it is already there.
Yeah. I think some places may be experimenting that.
Yeah, I know China was talking about doing something like that. I don't know how deep it's going to be, but there's been talk about it. Yeah, but Black Mirror is a very, very interesting show. I highly recommend it.
May have to check it out. But no, my point with technology, whether it's a cell phone, TV, which have been around for a while, just computers, just how advanced it has become and how it takes away from legitimate family time. For example, you go to a restaurant, you see a family at the table, you got, children on the phone texting, maybe one of the parents texting, and it's just losing that family bond. That's the point that I'm getting at. So where we grew up and we said, and actually your generation is, has come up without, just being introduced to that technology with the cell phones advancing, but it has really taken off, I would say, over the past decade, maybe a little bit more than that.
Oh, yeah. The flip phone is gone. The antenna's gone. These phones can do a lot. They can do more than computers.
Yeah. But just get to the point that this, technology can, if used incorrectly, and we see it a lot, how addictive it's become, just like alcohol, cigarettes, things of such like that. But, if we're sitting down like now, if we're sitting down and we're having dinner, we're having, just family time together, that doesn't need to be interrupted. That's so important. So when you sit down with your family, especially at home or even out to dinner, you want to have family time, be family time, not family and technology time. So that's the point that I wanted to really get into with that. As far as being efficient, the other things that a lot of people put, what I feel, too much personal business, on that.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
And it comes back to backfire them too.
Yep.
Who was that rapper that was the young guy that was murdered a couple
recently?
Months? Yeah.
Like a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, Triple X. Triple X, yeah, things like that. And the guy go on and post it, I don't know if they ever caught the persons or people
just they're telling themselves.
Yeah.
They ain't got to do no work out here.
You don't have to look for the rat.
Just go to his Facebook page. You find everything.
Yeah, but it's it's just too much information. If I have something going on, I don't want to share with the world because I want it to be personal. And then if I put it on FaceTime or any type of social media for certain people, then other people find out. Do I have a right to get upset with them because I'm putting it out for the public? Really?
Yeah.
I might put something for you and maybe a couple of other people, and then. I mean, the way technology is, anyone can, tap into, what's being posted these days. So it's just, really realizing how technology is being used. And the thing is, like, have you ever done this? You left the house and forgot your phone.
Oh, yeah.
Did you come back did you go back and get it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know that's how we pretty much stay in contact with each other. But, and I'm guilty of that, too.
Well, I don't think it's really a guilty thing. I think it's more of a necessity thing. I got kids at daycare. I got Jenny working. My job may call me up to do something, so I have to. Yeah, I got family at work, so I have to. I'm not going back because I just want to check Facebook. That's something different right there.
Yeah.
I'm going back because I actually need it. Like, the technology is good. Yeah. It's wonderful. Like, I love having the phone.
Yeah.
But like you said, using it correctly. Like, if you're out with family, like you said, you're having dinner, you get to know the people around you better instead of looking at things other people are doing that you really don't know.
Oh, my point is, it's a time and place for everything.
That's right.
So at the dinner table, we sitting around eating. No, but when you have to take care of business or whatever, then absolutely.
See, when you sent me this topic, I was like, technology. I'm like, what's this man about to talk about right here?
Yeah.
I can't stand all these cell phones and
great,
all these kids out here doing.
Hey, I have a chess app on my phone, which I love. You
ever see episode of Simpsons where the grandpa, he's like it's like a picture of him in a newspaper. He's like got his fist up at a cloud. As an old man yells at cloud.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
How long have the Simpsons been on?
Like 25 years. But that old man, I was listening like what's possible coming here and talk about technology for?
No, listen, I'm not against it at all. But just realize how it can work against us. That's my point.
Right.
It definitely can work against it. It's like that good and evil. How are we going to use it?
Got to have balance.
Are we going to choose day or night? So it has to be a balance. Things like that. And then, do I shoot myself in the foot by posting certain things?
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
Employers look on that.
Yeah. Like my job, me working for for the government.
Yeah.
If I post something about said something derogatory about a politician.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably ain't be working too long.
Absolutely.
So most things I post online are just mostly sports talk. I think my last thing I posted was the Wizards to win the 2019 NBA Finals, and I got laughed out the building.
For this season coming up.
Yeah. For this.
Why? Because they got Dwight Howard.
Hey, he's wearing 21 this year. He's a new man.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe we take up a game. We didn't get any. We didn't get to any last year.
I was too upset to go to those games last year.
Yeah.
That team underperformed so much. I didn't want to give none of my money. The year before, when they was like playing excellent ball, I went to a couple games.
Yeah,
I went to a Sixers game. Actually, got to go on the court after the game.
Right.
Yeah, a guy I work with, a friend of mine. He had like it was like a bunch of people from Philly came down. He's a Philly fan.
Yeah.
And we got on the court after the game and took a picture with Joel Embiid. He was out there too, so that was cool. And then like the very next day, 2 days later was Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and went to see the Wiz play against the Blazers.
Yeah.
Beautiful game. Wizards led the whole entire way. John Wall one of the highlights of the year.
Yeah,
made his man fall down, and it was wonderful.
Yeah.
And this year I started watching games. And I was just mad at every one of them.
It's just
I hate underperformance.
Well, I mean, these guys, John Wall's the leader, and I don't doubt the guy's heart. I've seen this guy, just ball out, but I do see where he needs to get to that next level. Like, if he wants to be in that Jordan category, because he's, it's not about the talent,
right?
I don't think we're going to question that, because that's there with John Wall. It's just the point of this guy getting Bill on point. Getting
Bill just had a baby.
Bill got a baby. No. Just to my point with the Dwight Howard and all the cast there,
right,
to get them to flow, because they do have the potential, and right now that's where it's at. So
you know what they need to get there?
What's that?
Technology.
Oh, speaking of that, you when you was making a point, let's look at how the movement of the civil rights movement, they didn't have any technology back then.
Okay.
They didn't have anything, but yet they were able to make progress. And their progress got us here to today. So
now I get to run a podcast. Free flowing information.
Listen, hey, it took some groundwork for this to come.
Exactly.
And they did it without technology. So how necessity is technology.
That's an interesting point.
Someone
say it's a different. Some say it's a different world now.
Well, we make it different. But if we need to survive without technology, I bet you the human. See, our strongest weapon is our mind. That's our greatest asset, depending on how we use it.
What do you think will happen if the internet tomorrow, like Avengers, Thanos, just got snapped out of existence?
People would freak out.
Yeah,
they would.
I think people commit. I think you see a rash of suicides and all sorts of things. It'll be bad for years. Yeah. But I think eventually, like you said, I mean, with the mind, people come back.
We would adjust. We would have to go back to pretty much a paper-based system. Whereas we would have to just sit there and think and work things out. Like, for example, when I first went into my field respiratory, there were a lot of things we had to calculate, and put on our ventilators to get certain settings.
Right.
Now, you just dial it in, and that wasn't that long ago. I've been in the field like 22 years, so that's not that long.
Oh, was that a plug right there? I'm in the field for 22 years.
Yeah,
I mean, who's counting?
Yeah, I mean, that's work. That's putting in work.
Yeah, absolutely. Work. Yeah,
but
for sure.
But again, 22 is young.
Okay.
22 is young, so it's still a lot of growth.
Is that how you look at it?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I say you continue the process. Education, and it's not just sitting in a classroom, opening the book. It's like you and I sitting here, we talking, learning, educating one another. You go to work, you learn from your superiors, and even people who come in that are new. They have new eyes, to an organization where they can have great ideas. The thing is, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we need to listen twice as much as we speak.
Right. That's right.
So,
that's true.
So we can make it without technology. Do we want to go there? That means putting in work. So that's why later on we'll talk about, the baby boomers and the millennials, So, and every generation has its dispensation where, there's going to be productivity. The civil rights movement was during that time. It was meant for that time.
Right.
Are we meant to go back, for us to go back to that? No. We're here for a reason.
It's about progress.
Absolutely.
Now, speaking of progress, let's talk about this father-son relationship. What's on your mind? I'll let you speak first. I'll just sit back and listen.
Well, I'll tell you this. The reason I brought that up because, again, it shows how each generation, for us, sticking in our family,
right,
need to progress. When I grew up, I didn't have my father. Didn't know him. He showed up a couple of times. I knew who he was, but as far as him raising me, and teaching me and chastising me and punishing me and congratulating me, I didn't have that. So it was, just learning as I go. And then where that's dangerous at is that, my mother was great, but then when I went outside, it was the brothers on the street,
Yeah.
Especially the older guys. You see them do things. It looks good.
And what part of the world is this we're talking about that you grew up at?
Well, I'm a true Washingtonian, Southeast D.C.
Anacostia. Class of 1982.
Anacostia Indians, big shout out to them, But growing up there, thankfully when I grew up, it wasn't a lot of shooting. It was, hand to hand, fist to fist, things like that. So, and then a lot of,
man versus man.
You go through that, absolutely. You go through that, tap it up after that, and move on with life or whatever. But one thing I said is that if I ever became a father, if I was blessed to become a father, I wouldn't allow my children to go through that. The absence of a father. So
yeah, I remember you told me that all the time. Yeah, absolutely.
It was very important.
Tell me your name before I went to bed.
Yeah,
back you used to tuck me in. Too old for that now.
Yeah. Well, never underestimate a father and son tuck in. It adds security, to that. But then reading your books, and then as you all got older, you learn how to read. You would read stories. Just like those little critter books you all would read. I'm sorry.
I got it for Rick. Got him for Jet.
Yeah, they got the same book. So that right there, we're not going to see our generation go back, because the standard now is that, you have children, you raise them. As a man, you raise your son, you raise your daughters. You raise them to be productive people.
Right.
And so that was very, I would say that was monumental, for me, to make sure that, no matter what, that when I came home, you all knew you had a father there, you had a protector, someone that would support you.
I thought Mom was a protector.
Hey, you double it up, man. You double it up,
The provider.
Make sure I wasn't, sitting down, not being productive. Even if and it doesn't matter what, as a man, what your profession is, your children want to see you there, want to see you as a leader in the family.
Right.
Whether you're the president of the United States, or you move papers, or, you're doing constructions or things like that, it doesn't matter. Your children look at you as a hero, and you should be their first hero. Like Charles, a lot of people got on Charles Barkley when he say he's
I'm not a role model. Yeah.
Although, I agree with what he was saying, but he's still a role model, because he's a public figure, and he's always seen, a lot of people, kids glean from him, from wanting to, be an NBA player, things like that. But I get it when he said, he's not a role model, and the mother and father should be the role model, in the family. Whereas, when you go to school and the teacher asks you write about your hero or your most favorite person in your life, initially the children should hit the mom and dad, because of what they're doing. They're going out, they're working day and night. And then you got to be careful of that too, because working all the time, you lose that connection with your child, because you're trying to give them the life you didn't have. It's not about things, it's about the investment into the child. So, and that's what your mother and I did. We worked different shifts. She cut back working for years to always have that presence there, things like that. So make sure you take the child to the doctor, get you an activity. So a child that pays off, and we're sitting there with you and your sister now,
Right.
And then now you're raising your families, and the thing is not to escape those values.
You saw that picture of Rachel and me the other day.
Yeah, that was like on the jet.
Yeah. It came out to the jet.
Yeah. That was a nice picture.
Yeah, it came out to the plane. That was really cool. I just called up, said, "Hey," I forgot because I was going out to Langley. I was like, "Hold up, let me see how far away it is from Rachel." It's like she had like 30 minutes. Like, yeah, come on out. They came to the jet, took a bunch of pictures. They loved it. Noah loved it. I held little nephew the entire time, little Nate.
So
it's a good baby.
Yeah, he's a strong little baby. He's a strong little baby.
Yeah, I was messing with him, trying to take his ball away from him.
Mm-hmm.
He had a good grip on that thing.
Yeah,
I used a little bit of man strength for a second.
Yeah, that little boy love his food, man. he love his food. Same with Noah and Audrey. It was great having all 5 of them there. Like you had the second annual. Matter of fact, let's talk about that for a minute.
Okay, since you talk about family, absolutely.
Yeah, we gonna get into that. The value of family. I think what you and Patrick did, and I, wanted to make sure I mention this, is that you all are doing you're doing a great thing with this. The Cousins Day.
Yep.
You had the second annual. A lot of families showed up. Participated. It creates a bond.
Everybody brought some great meals.
Yeah.
Rachel brought you a small plate.
Hey, we shared it.
Sorry, Rachel. It is what it is.
Hey, I was hungry.
Half a crab, a scoop of macaroni.
Yeah, it was good food. What we taste.
Yeah.
So, but just getting to the point of that, how you decide to get the family together, have bring the bond together, and then you can see this getting larger every year. Because I was telling you all, there's another side of the family that you need to tap into. I know you're looking at another side of my family, the Conyers.
Yeah. What side of the family is that for you?
Because that's from my James Earl and Robert Lee. They Stevie and William, which was Junebug when we was we used to all call
Our family got a Junebug.
But we were tight when we were little.
Mm-hmm.
We lived in Condit Terrace and over there, another part of DC and not far from Ballou, but we lived over there up in that circle, and we grew up together over there before we moved to Anacostia.
Yeah.
So, but sticking together like that, we were tight at the time, but then as we moved away, we lost that connection. But it's always great to see him. So I think because there's a lot of great people over, on that side that, next year you should reach out to, and you see this thing growing huge.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the bigger the better.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what Pat told me, what his mom, your sister, Pat said.
What's that?
Said that, we were younger. When y'all were younger, it was our job, bring y'all around each other, make sure I got to grow up with each other. We said now you're older, that falls back on you.
Yeah.
So it's our job, me, Pat, Sherm, Sean, Gary, Martina, Rachel, everybody. Yeah. It's our job to, keep the family close because everybody got kids,
Yeah.
So, and it's not just got to be once a year,
Yeah.
We can all get together, watch a game or something like that, or just have a cookout or something on a Saturday. So I know you got baby showers and all sorts of things coming up. So I like to see more of the family, getting involved. Cause
baby shower, who's pregnant?
I don't know, somebody.
No, I know Gary. I know Gary just
Gary
had
just had one. Yeah.
Just had a baby boy.
Healthy baby boy.
Big baby boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then speaking of family, we having this introducing to new family through Ancestry.com. Through that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Tomorrow's going to be a very exciting day.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. And, we had to definitely make sure,
What? That was Amaz, that was y'all child? She had to take her own. Is that your kid too?
No, it's her brothers found out he had twins.
Didn't know, never knew.
He never knew. So that's something,
Yeah,
that's something, the first day I talked to him about, I said, you can't hold yourself accountable because you didn't know.
How does he feel about the whole thing? Because I wasn't there that day. Jenny was out of town. I was here with the kids. But
when I picked David up, and when I was taking him back, we talked a little bit, and even at the house, I was like, you didn't know, you had an inclination, but then you was told,
he was
told
no
baby, things like that, and you went on with your life. But this is happening for a reason, things like that. So, with the Tony coming over and bringing his family, it just strengthens our family, because I believe it'll be a good connection. And then next year with the family Cousins Day, it just expands.
Yeah, exactly.
And we had Little Cousins Day that weekend because we had all 5 of the grandbabies. But
yeah.
Next year we'll expand. With my with Martina kids, babies,
absolutely,
and all. So just make sure they have even a tighter bond.
Yeah, make sure everybody knows about everybody.
Yeah,
that's
and not just know, but support
exactly
one another, because we have to be, to really be a true solid family. We got to be happy and sharing in all of our accomplishments. Whether it's college, or you start a podcast, things like that. You support each other and you help each other, and you teach each other how to tap into what they do well, especially as young children. So. The value of family is very important. Not making sure we ain't fighting in on holidays and things like that.
Throwing away turkeys,
knocking each other on the head,
like the Three Stooges. Yeah, I'm good on that.
But that's things like that. But even the Bible gives, and that was one thing I was saying, like in Colossians 3:18 through 21, it just speaks of. The wife's position, the husband's position, and also the children. Whereas, we're not to provoke our children, because we don't want you all to give up. And, men are to love their wives, and wives are to respect their husbands.
Right.
So, everybody has their job, their lane to stay in, and once we do that, it's just like, let's take a football play. I know I'm a left tackle. I'm not going to look to catch a pass.
At 5'10"?
Look. And you know what? Where you need me to go, coach?
Oh, okay, all right.
Where you need me to go, coach? I'm that type of player.
You
need me to go on line, coach? I go on the line. You need me to quarterback? I quarterback. Team, man.
That's little league right there.
Team, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to make your point. Yeah,
but my point is that I'm going to focus on my responsibility and trust the person to my left and my right to do their job, and everyone's putting forth 100% effort, and with that makes our job easier, even on the job. Being director on my previous job and the new position I have, that was one thing that I really try to stress to employees. Focus on your job, and everybody do that. It's going to make our process a lot easier. Sometimes it will go through, sometimes it wouldn't, but the thing is, you don't quit.
Right.
You don't quit. That's, once you quit, it may be hard to quit the first time, but that second or third time, it becomes easier and easier
just to leave.
To quit.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm done with this.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
I'm done. Everybody ain't acting right.
I don't need this job.
They only bought one plate of greens.
I was like, I may leave for that one right
there. Look. Hey, we do have our breaking points. You can't come shy on the macaroni and cheese and greens. Be like, look. Either you need to go get another plate, a bowl, or you got to go to Safeway or something, get something.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but, as people, we have our, just got to identify your points, your weak points, your strong points, and work on them. That's why I say you always, working on yourself. And then I skipped my point, what I was saying about traditionally what I do for my birthday. And then you went on to this other thing, but no,
blame it on me.
No, one thing I do is I work out in the morning.
Okay.
On my birthday, so I'm
once a year.
Do I look like I'm once a year, man?
All right, Shane, Uncle Shane.
Hey, look, no, believe me, it's important to take care of your body.
Absolutely.
Work out, eat right. Sometimes you're gonna, eat wrong. They hit at McDonald's or fast food spot or whatever, but usually I would definitely get up in the morning, work out, push, lift weights, or whatever, just to get, even if it's a light workout, although I work out during the week, but for years I just made sure every morning I would get up, of course, mentally, get my mind right, say my prayers, things like that.
Absolutely.
But that to me, that's very important for me. Now, other people may not find it important, but it's important for me, and it works.
Yeah.
You know?
Working out. Yeah, exactly. You got to.
You got to find out what works
sweat.
for you.
Yeah,
you got to find out what works for you, son.
for sure.
You know.
Yeah.
Things like, and not be discouraged by what other people say or think. Because that comes with the territory. When you just like this podcast, yeah, you can do a podcast, but it's like a million other podcasts out here.
Mm-hmm.
That's the competition. So you got to bring something unique to the table.
That's why I brought you.
Yeah. Yeah. So now we're gonna watch it soar.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
From my mouth to God ears, man. Yeah. You do that. A lot of interesting topics. I saw the last one you all had when you had Patrick, AJ, and Kira.
Kyra.
Oh, Kyra.
Yeah, Kyra. Yeah.
We watched that, and it was interesting, so we do gotta find Patrick a wife, by the way. But it's no rush for my man.
I always tell Pat, you already married. You already married to your business.
Yeah. And see, that's the other thing, you know. Not all of us go to college, but we're doing something productive, and to use Patrick as an example, he's an entrepreneur.
Yeah. You went to college?
No, but I'm just saying,
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. But my thing is, we might not, go right into the workforce.
Mm-hmm.
We might want to do our own thing as far as, being an entrepreneur as he is. So, you find out, what you're good and great at, and you run from there. And then other doors can open up.
Absolutely.
Don't be afraid to try something you've never done before.
Hey, that's what I'm hearing right now.
Yeah.
That's what you're here right now.
Absolutely.
Quitting your job at 55 plus.
I didn't quit. I didn't quit.
Nah, resign respectfully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And put in work.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, and doing my resignation, I didn't call out a day. Some people like to use their sick leave up.
Yeah.
I just thought it's very important, when you leave a place to, set a standard,
Mm-hmm.
let them know.
A stand of excellence.
A stand of excellence. That's right. Hey, there we go. That's the key. That word is going to be in this family for generations. Because you said it, and you say, because you never know when you may have to not necessarily go back to that job, but you may meet some of the people that was in administration or the owner in a different area,
mm-hmm.
and they may need, may consider you for a better position. So
just like the military.
Yeah.
Same exact thing.
You do it because of your character, though.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a business side to it, So I didn't have to call out.
Well, that's good. No, I expect you. Yeah, I was talking to you your last day at work.
Yeah.
Yeah, you worked hours that day too.
Yeah, my last day at work, I worked like 13 and a half hours that last day, because to me, the handoff was important, and I didn't want to see, our teamwork go in vain or slip.
Yeah.
So it was very important for me to give a great handoff, and even now I stay in contact with the person that's doing interim so they can hand off to the next person. Now, when the next person come, if they call me, it's a consultant.
Well,
it's a business side to it. It is.
But if the work fails more after you leave, doesn't that show how valuable you were?
Well, it depends on how you look at it.
Okay.
Because I told the person who replaced me, just keep their hand on the steering wheels. That's all they have to do.
Just maintain.
Yeah, because they're not going to stay in that position. This person who's coming in, they have to identify what works and what changes need to be made, and then they have to show true leadership. But for me, I want to see it flourish, because it's like, let's take Dr. King, for example.
Okay.
Will he want to see these generations fail?
Absolutely.
With all the work, and not just him, but everybody from that movement. And that's one of the biggest examples I use, because they didn't have the technology. They had to walk from Alabama to all across the different states, things like that. And then, you bleeding, people bleeding and dying, and not just Black Americans. You have white Americans and people from different walks of life, different races. So, but of course, when you talk about the civil rights movement, it was about having equal rights, and at the time, African Americans didn't have equal rights. A black man was a boy.
Right.
I mean, let's just cut it, cut the chaser, just, straight no chaser. And so they really didn't do it for themselves, because they knew they wasn't going to see it. You know, so that's when you put in work. Sometimes you're not going to reap the reward, and it's not always about you. You're there for a purpose to, you know, to help someone else.
Right.
If it's always about you, it's unbalanced. I'm always receiving. So I'm like this, you know, instead of a balance of give and receive. So you have to have that balance in life. You know,
right.
I'm not always, you know, giving, because that can drain you. You know, if you got the same people always giving and putting in the work at a job, I can see why they can come upset, because you got the lazy people on the job.
Yeah,
it's like that. So, you know, but getting back to my point is that, you know, will it show that, you know, I was a good person? Like if the department, if it failed, things like that, it depends on how the next person manage it. You know, so they got to come in and take it to the next level, things like that. But you know, I don't look back over my shoulders, and I don't reach back in the past, you know, because it prevents you from moving forward.
That's true. If you're always looking back, you can't look ahead.
Yeah. You know, I'm not sitting on my hands. So that's key, you know. And same with family values. You know, you sit there and, you know, you look at what worked for you, and, you know, how we discipline you and your sister, and you can see, you know what worked for you as a child. You know what motivated you. And sometimes children don't understand that. They don't understand, you know, oh, my mommy and daddy's mean and things of such like that. But, you know, you're here, you know, it's not a goal. You know, you're not going to have, you know, some people say, well, I wanted to make sure you know, you didn't go to jail and things like that. Standards are higher than that. I get it with that statement.
Yeah.
You know, but our standards,
jump over that bar a little bit higher.
Yeah. A lot higher.
Yeah.
You know, but, you know, as black men, you know, and I told you, driving up here, I passed a whole lot of police cars, and I was, you know, busting the speed limit a little bit, and the guy flashed just like, so, you know.
Are you admitting to a crime on
no crime
here on Blacks and Yak?
No crime. You know, there's no radar or anything like that. You know, so Blacks and Yaks are not held accountable. You know, I'm not held accountable. I didn't get a ticket, but my point is, you know, I mean, we see how black men, you know, or you know, are pulled over, shot. You know, things like that, you know, so.
We've talked about that several times on here.
Yeah. You know, that's, you know, a tragedy. And those are things to stand up for. And that's where we had like those civil rights leaders. See, that's where that civil rights movement came in. You know, Dr. King and, you know, the leaders and people who participated in that, they were willing to die, you know, to make a change. And see, as people, you know, of today, you know, especially if I want to target on, you know, African-American men, you know, we have to, you know, be accountable for that, and not, you know, be so good at executing one another. You know,
yeah,
we're very good at that. You know, I mean, unfortunately, that's not anything to be proud of. And what was the reward that we're getting? You know,
a life sentence.
A couple of families destroyed. You know, maybe I just took somebody's product or money. You know, or maybe I'm getting revenge back. You know, because he said something to me. Things like that, you know.
How was it growing up in D.C. in the 80s? Just we're talking about that a little bit.
Yeah. D.C. growing up in D.C.
70s and 80s.
You know, 70s I was a little shorty, but I did some bad things in school. I did some bad things in school. I'm not going to talk about that too much.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, because actually, you know, when I lived in Conner Church, it was just the school, Simon Elementary, that I went through. I did. And I was like first, second grade doing just bad things, you know.
Like what? I mean, it's first, second grade.
Well.
Were you stealing pencils?
No,
you doing more than that.
Just doing little bad kid things that my parents didn't follow. Like, you know, God forgive me. I just remember, you know, we used to put, you know, like people go to sit down, you pull a chair. But this one time I pulled this chair from this kids, they went to sit down and they hit their head on the back of the chair and they bust their head was bleeding. Teacher was yelling at me. She's like, I'm gonna tell your mother. I'm gonna tell. Wow, I was so scared. No. What she said is, you better tell your mother when you get home. Right there. Yeah. I was like, okay. I was like, and she, you know, she depended on me to tell my mother. I was like, no way.
Yeah, exactly. I
was like, you know the beating I'm going to get? You think Rachel got the beating heard around the world?
Yeah.
Shoot, y'all probably wouldn't be here. you know. And then just like when we I know you know this story when we moved in Southeast. I know being the youngest, I didn't get any slack. And this one morning, everybody got ready for school, and I was running behind. And when I walked out the door, my sisters and brothers, they was way up the street.
Yeah.
And so I decided I wasn't going to school. So I went in the back with all the dogs. I decided I'm gonna hide out in the dog house. I was in the second grade.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in second grade, so
Okay,
I decided to do that. But that day, my mother was home from work. I didn't know. She said she heard the dogs, because the dog we had, we always had a lot of dogs, and the dog had like 7 or 8 puppies, and they was making a lot of noise. She came to check. She looked in the dog house. She reached in and grabbed me out, gave me a beating. Boy, she whooped my butt, set me down, gave me some lunch, and made me walk to school. I still end up going to school. So instead, I took I took the shortcut, which ended up being the long way. I ended up getting a beating. At least she fed me.
Took a shortcut, ended up being a long way.
Yeah,
it's a life lesson.
And I still end up, instead of running, catching up with my sisters and brother, I ended up walking to school by myself. So just little things like kids. But you know what? Those things, if not corrected, they escalate.
Right.
Then I get up. I go steal a bike. Then I get older, I steal a car. So those things evolve if not corrected.
Yeah.
And that's why I say when you don't have that guidance and that discipline, and a shout out to a lot of mothers, who raise their children, not just sons, but their children, without the father, because unfortunately and sadly, that was the norm in our neighborhood, and in my area. And you got to understand, a lot of fathers didn't just abandon their families. A lot of them was coming from the Vietnam War, so mentally they wasn't straight.
Yeah,
come to find out, I know my father had, he fought in the war.
Yeah,
and
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was actually a mechanic.
I think I knew that.
Yeah. So he would, I know his head wasn't right. I think he had like a plate or something in his head.
Oof.
Or what? But I know this one time. I tell you, this is why children, if you're watching, don't leave the school grounds, because I did that one time, and then these 2 guys chased me. They chased me. Yeah, man, I ran. Kids back then.
You said guys like how old are you talking?
Grown men. It was actually looking to abduct me.
Oh.
Yeah, seriously. And then what I did, I ran so fast, I ran out my shoe. But then I turned around, I ran back a little bit, picked my shoe up, and I ran home. So my mother was home because I think she was working in the evening or something like that then. But then I went home, I was bamming on the door. She let me in, and then I saw them turn around. But she was in contact with my father.
Mm-hmm.
That dude was crazy. He came over that day, and I remember he had a Rottweiler in the back, and, he drove me all around. And he was asking me who was it. I couldn't identify the guys. I think if I would have pointed to anybody,
probably would have killed him.
Probably.
Oh yeah.
That dude. So
okay.
With that, even with that little bit, having them there for that that little bit, you felt protected, and that's going back to my point. Why it's so. That's why it's so important for the man to be in the household, because it just gives that security to the children. They sleep well. When they know daddy's home, and it's not to slight the mother. It's just about an order, and that order doesn't mean the father's always going to have the better ideas over the wife, the mother. It's just the order that God made. So, and it's about each one of us playing roles, things like that. So that was one example of me being bad, being disciplined, and then my father coming to step up. Things like that. Because if I would have said, it was him. And I remember him going to the police station, making an argument out of it. And then we drove around all night.
Yeah.
He brought me back late that night. And, he dropped me off, and I went home. I actually felt better. I went to school the next day.
Oh, that's good. Yeah,
but I didn't leave. I didn't leave.
You didn't leave school grounds.
Yeah, because a lot of kids, they used to get, kidnapped back in the, and you had those pedophiles, that. And see, the thing about what's good about technology, and this Dateline had this show Predator.
Oh, Catch a Predator. Yeah.
I used to love that show because it would catch
Chris Hansen.
And the thing is, you can't look at just someone who doesn't look like doesn't have anything going on. I mean, you got people highly professionals.
Yeah, all walks
things
of
like
life.
that. It's a mental state with these people. Things like that. So, that's why you have to have that open relationship with your child and talk to them. Those are family values. And then, believe me, when people know that you have a big family, a supportive family, you got all these uncles and aunts that's willing to come in and sit down and protect, whether it's a sick loved one in the hospital or they got a little child, and it's not just the mother and father, but they have a huge family support. So that's why it's important that that you reach out to next year during Cousin Day, you expand. Every year it has to expand.
Mm-hmm.
The location is going to have to change.
Yeah.
You might have to rent a hall or something like that.
We've been talking about that, like renting a house somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
something
a weekend.
like that.
Think about doing it for like a Friday to Sunday thing.
So that means we had the babies from Friday to Sunday.
I'm sorry. What you don't watch your own grandchildren?
No.
After all you've been saying, you go.
I love them little jokers. We have, just like that one weekend when you and Jenny went up to Connecticut.
Yeah.
Me and the boys, we balled out that weekend. Went to the circus, went to the zoo.
Yeah, absolutely.
Took them to dinner. A couple of my coworkers had gave me a farewell dinner, which was very nice.
Yeah, you took them there.
Yeah, and then they, they it was the highlight of the evening. I just sat back and let them flow. So introducing them to things like that, and showing that they have, people who care for them just as much as their parents. They're going to grow up the same way. I mean, it's just going to be a handoff. It's going to be a handoff. But it was, just growing up, finishing in Southeast, growing up in my area in the 80s and all. But again, thankfully, it wasn't a lot of the shootings came more in the 90s.
Yeah.
By then I was on my way out. I was in a serious relationship, got married young. I think that was good for me, because if not, I would have been one of those.
I think we both got married at the same age.
Yeah. I wouldn't have been one that I wasn't one of them guys who didn't have vision and goals.
Yeah.
But also I like hanging out with my boys and things like that, and doing things around the street, and you don't want to get caught up in the mixture or not even things targeted for you, things like that. I mean, you don't walk around in fear, things like that, and we're going to talk about something like that a little bit later, like terrorism, local terrorism, and how people, the Las Vegas shooting, kids going to school, how safe is you can't walk around in fear. But so that's the big thing. And
well, let's talk about this. Let's talk about before you even get to that, some of this Me Too movement.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The story needs no introduction.
No.
I ain't got to tell anybody about it. If you know what the Me Too movement is, I don't know where you've been at, but it's a lot of people getting caught up with that.
Yeah.
Harvey Weinstein, probably the biggest one right there.
Yeah. Morgan Freeman.
What the names was out there? Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
Was that more so recent? I remember Jamie Foxx.
Well, I just saw him when I was looking at some of the names.
I didn't read the story behind that one.
Russell Simmons.
Yeah.
Matt
Lauer, yep.
A lot of, another, who was that CBS analyst?
We said his name, Nance.
He was one of them. But,
yeah.
It was another guy too, but it was a lot of men. But
you can look it up. It's a whole bunch of them.
But shout out to the women who came with this, because honestly, they shouldn't be harassed and sexually, forced to do things that they don't want to, just to have a job or position, things like that.
Well, also Kevin Spacey too, in regards to men.
Yeah,
so.
Or no one, no one should be, forced to do any sexual act or feel stress to perform any sexual acts or touch it or
for a job or role.
Yeah, things like that. Because women bring a lot to the workforce, and with that, they have great ideas, and you see leadership changing. A lot of women are doing great with that, and they shouldn't, and it's a great thing for them to come out, with these guys, who are doing this to them, and then just let us, work together as colleagues and may the best person, receive the position, things like that. Now, are there women taking advantage of this? I mean, you do have to look at both sides. I think the movement is great.
Yeah.
I believe it needs to continue.
Absolutely.
You know, not and I believe this hashtag Me Too movement will expand beyond women, like you said, Kevin Spacey or on another man, things like that.
Ruin my show, House of Cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, one person just mess it up. Huh?
Yeah,
just instead of replacing him.
Yeah, they got to push the season back, and it'll be the last season now. All this.
I think he was the star of the show, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, replace him with someone else. There's a lot of great actors.
Yeah, but that role he played was just him.
It was just pivotal. Man. It was just
How you gonna take Bill Cosby out the Huxtables?
Hey, they did.
They took Bill Cosby.
And Bill Cosby.
Yeah, another one.
Bill Cosby. You know. So these things, women are speaking up, you know, and I encourage them to, when it happens, you know, because it's you know, it's something that's a travesty. And then we can also segue to these children, altar boys being molested by priests. It was someone who just came out. You know, this cardinal recently had
Shocking.
to step down. Yeah, right.
Shocking.
Yeah, that's been happening for years.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and the thing is, these people are in such high positions and power. It's intimidating, you know, to the victims. You know, they don't want to lose their families.
Right.
They don't want to lose their jobs. They don't want to lose their careers. So I'm not going to say nothing. But now this movement is so strong.
It's taking people down left and right.
Yeah, it is.
And I get back to the
it moguls.
Yeah. I get back to the part where, you know, people just saying this to get somebody out of there, but yeah, you think like a young actress looking for a role.
Yeah.
You know, and you got some nasty man like Weinstein. You know, what you gonna do for his role? Is like 20 other women that want it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I heard some stories from him, which is disgusting.
Yeah.
Absolutely disgusting.
You know, just as good. And then you can see, like, I believe it was Uma Thurman. She really couldn't come out and speak in the beginning because it was something that was probably crushing her on the inside that she couldn't speak at the time. But when she did, the anger and the hurt, you know, so you know.
How do you feel about that? Like a lot of women that knew about stuff and just didn't say anything. Well, because that was going on in Hollywood for years, decades.
Oh, yeah. You know,
and not until 2018 that it's finally coming out.
I think, what was it, early 17? And it's not before 16, probably.
When the movie started to look it up, but it's been going on for years in Hollywood, years.
But the thing you got to look at, that they're looking at their livelihood and the position that they're in. You know, they work so hard to get to a point in their life, then they run across a beast, you know, and this beast is being demanding for sexual advances and favors and whatever they're asking.
Right.
And then, you know, they're so afraid that they're doing it. You know, and that's probably what's the norm, you know, before, you know, media. And that's a great thing, again, about technology, you know, because one thing good about technology, it gets around the world quickly.
Yeah, quickly. Everybody knows.
You know, that everybody
you
knows.
You gotta wait the next day for the paper to come out.
Next day, next week, you know. And believe me, that's the great thing about technology. That's the great thing about it. And I wouldn't want to go back. You know, it's just, you know, going to my point, how we use it.
Yeah.
But, you know, just staying on the hashtag Me Too movement, you know, I would continue to encourage not just women, but anyone, a male that's a victim, to come forward, you know, and eradicate this, you know, this travesty that's going on. And then also I will hope that these accusations of anyone coming forth are true, and not putting someone in a bad position, you know, because if you sit down, you know, the President Trump and the Stormy Davis story.
Stormy Daniels?
Daniels, yeah. She's not claiming hashtag Me Too.
Yeah, they had sex.
Yeah. But things like that, you know, why are you bringing that up now? I mean, especially if he was paid for it. But she's not claiming that. So, but the hashtag
fame,
yeah, you get
appearances.
You get your 15 minutes. Things.
They ain't never been hot in these streets till I don't know, till she brought it up.
Now she's getting a divorce too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that
making public appearances at clubs and all sorts of things.
Would that have happened before? Nope.
Nah, not at all. Nope. Absolutely not.
So why are you doing it? And allegedly you got paid off or whatever.
Yeah.
No, it's a bigger market now. We can do this, you know. So you get a shark as a lawyer, they're gonna see dollar signs.
And some sharks out here too.
Yeah, and that's what I say. You know, when it's competitive out here, everyone's not going to be true and honest. They're going to do whatever they have to do
to get ahead.
Spygate.
Yep.
Deflate. Well, it was Deflategate.
Deflategate. It's all the scandals with the Patriots.
Yeah, but you know what? That I know we skipping, but that Deflategate, that didn't matter because they ran the ball up and down the field on the Colts.
Yeah, they beat them like 45-7.
They could have had a tennis ball, or a Nerf.
Yeah, they just.
But that's something.
They ain't been the same sense.
But my point is, people would do anything, and it goes back to #MeToo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a position of power.
Right.
I'm going to abuse. I'm going to do what I want. I'm above the law.
Yeah.
And I'll pay off some people.
Yeah.
To get what I want.
And I got powerful friends, and you'll never work in this city again, as they say.
Never. You'll be pushing burgers the rest of your life. But,
working down at Starbucks.
Yeah. But, if it keeps your sanity, and because you got to understand we lose things. We have to deal with ourselves every day. I have a statement out that I'm the CEO of me. I have to make chief executive decisions every day for my life. No, I may not be I may not be a CEO of a Fortune 500 corporation, or I may not even own a mom and pop store. I may be a 9-to-5 worker every day, until I retire, but I have to make wise decisions. So that's where everyone has to have that executive thinking, and
right?
Thinking correctly,
right?
Things like that, and what's best for your family. And believe me, nothing replaces health. Our health. Over. Believe me, there's people who are sick that I've seen would trade spots with you in a minute. Have money, have all success and all that, but their health is deteriorating. It's a great thing for me to get up, walk out of here. Hug your grandkids, say bye to Jenny, see y'all tomorrow, get in my car and drive off.
Yeah.
Drive home on my own versus someone got to lift you up, put you, connect you to a vent, so you can breathe and just transport you, things like that. Or someone got to flip you over, clean your bottom, things like that. So quality, it's to me, nothing's above quality of life. So, hey.
Yeah, I'm I mean, I completely agree with you with that. But yeah, back to the Me Too movement. Have you seen anything like that before on the job where somebody's got taken away due to anything like that, like a powerful or hurting thing in your career field?
Not at that level, things like that. I've known, honestly, just relationships and stuff like that at work.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't known of any type of any news flash where we go into the boardroom and we sitting down because, a director or someone in administration is sexually harassing or, an employee.
Right.
No. I mean, for me, no. Maybe it has happened in places I work.
Sure,
but
yeah,
I know it's happened,
Well, like in the Air Force, the reason I ask that because for us, we have briefings about sexual assault almost. It's just way too many of them. Like, it's so many of them.
Yeah.
We just have about it. Like, it's just a lot. Anybody out there in the Air Force, they tell you it's just a lot.
People in power.
Yeah, we're not so much about things that happen. Just pretty much don't do it.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's all prevention, and they all mean good, but it's just constant. But honestly though, they're putting information out there for people, and it's become like a very big topic.
Right.
Past at least I've only been in 7.5 years, so at least in the past couple of years, I've seen them become more. When it's just even now with this Me Too thing, it's just gonna just keep just hitting you in the head over top with it. Yeah. It's not a thing you can ever eradicate. You're never gonna get rid of it, but you can at least get it to a point where I don't know.
Well, it's gonna make people more cautious. I mean,
exactly.
Do you want to lose your career, everything that you work for, because you're making these advances at another person?
And who knows what exactly are advances though? Is advances like, hey, can I get your number? And the next thing you know, someone's feeling like they've been assaulted. Unwanted
advance. I mean, you have to understand that if the person is not receptive, and also you got to understand position. There's some places where, if you're at a higher position, if you're in administration, you're
a boss.
Yeah,
you can't be out here living like that.
No, it's just like NFL. Don't frat with the cheerleaders.
Yep.
Or somebody got to go.
Well, Chris Cooley did.
Well, but the cheerleader had to quit.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, and she was like, oh, hey, this cheerleader thing ain't working. Ain't gonna be a long time. I'm gonna marry Chris Cooley. I am on on 980 in the morning.
Yeah,
that, it is what it is. But no, definitely. I mean, you weigh it.
Mm-hmm.
If that person is saying no, it goes back as simple as it may be. No means no.
That's true. You gotta be able to read. You gotta be able to read people too.
Yeah,
you gotta be able to know things.
Yeah.
You can't just be out here just. This ain't the club. You can't be. You gotta be. You gotta have some tact.
Yeah, yeah. And then what do you at work for? So. It's a lesson learned. It's a lesson learned, and then just being at work. If a man, let's take a male and female. If a man just approaches a woman, and she's like, I'm not interested, and he wants to come back and try, and he do it in a tactful way, because the first time women will blow you off, but if it's at work and you like grabbing her arm, that's
you doing too much.
That's too far.
Yeah, exactly.
Or we have this thing called elevator eyes. Where you looking at a woman up and down. No, seriously,
I know that this name is funny.
Yeah. Actually, I just went through this orientation. We talked about that again. Don't know how many times I've heard that. The elevator eyes and the third party sexual harassment where me and you can be talking about undressing a woman and somebody else is listening. Heard that speech many of times. Things like that. They can file a sexual harassment claim. Things like that because you're in the organization talking about that instead of in a private place. If you want to talk about that, you go to a private place and talk about that.
Right.
But it comes down to a respect of colleagues, things like that. So, I do support the hashtag Me Too movement. Do encourage.
Yeah, of course.
Everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Things like that. Because I've worked, along. I mean, I wouldn't want that to, your mother be at work, that someone and she's looking to move forward. You got some idiot, being like, I know you want this position and all, but, you got to massage my shoulders, once or twice a day, things like that.
Yeah, I feel like that's a very old school way of doing it. I feel like now it's more like, how can I put this? It's not so much, maybe it's like something like a little more professional, like maybe like going out to a lunch or something like that, or just being around me more. Things of that right there. I don't really think it's like, hey, I need you to, have sex with me, or you're not doing this right here. I'm not saying it doesn't exist still, but I think it exists in more ways, than just, what we think.
You don't think Weinstein was direct?
Oh, Weinstein was definitely direct. Weinstein's he's a different animal himself. Yeah. Weinstein's something else, but I don't think it's, everybody may not just want sex. Like it's something that I'm not going to reveal who told me this right here. But you have guys out here that will pay women to come to their house, dress up in all sorts of costumes, and they don't want any sex or anything. They just want them to wear these costumes, just spend time with them, and then they leave. And they're like paying like $1,000.
Yeah, so it's not the new one. So
it's different ways with different things people want. It's still all strange and weird, but
but let's go back to our first topic with technology. This is not what's happening now. It's not new. It happened way back in the day. It just, again, there's a camera everywhere on our phone. Nothing's really deleted. It goes to the clouds, right? Mm-hmm. It's just revealed quicker, versus, 2 years ago, such had a sexual harassment on movie mogul Weinstein, whereas now, yesterday, this occurred, or earlier this morning, this person was identified as sexual harassment, like this priest,
this is another Wednesday.
With the altar boys. Is that a prerequisite for priests or something?
I don't know.
I mean, because they
that's just becoming cliche at this point.
I don't know with them, man.
I remember that one time he tried to sign me up to be an altar boy. I was like, nah, Pops, I ain't doing that. You.
we not in your cabin.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on from this. What's your thoughts on on local terrorism? You had that shooting in Annapolis recently. Yeah. What else we had? We had Vegas, of course.
Yeah.
Just guys out here, school shootings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was telling on one podcast I had not too long ago that I got an email. I think it's the very first podcast I did. Yeah, it was. I got an email, and it's about different security precautions in the school. And I was reading, it's like, man, has it really came to this right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, at work we got active shooter exercises. People just running around on base shooting up.
Cold silver.
Yeah. What else? About a year and a half ago, Andrews, when they put a base on lockdown.
Yeah.
It was on CNN.
And also the Navy base in right by the 11th Street Bridge.
Yeah, and I think that was exercise as well too.
Yeah.
Both of them were exercises, but people didn't know.
Yeah.
They thought it was real. They called the cops. Like I said, it was on CNN and everything.
Yeah.
But what do you think about it? What's your thoughts on it?
I think it's crazy, and I think people are need help.
Mental illness.
Yeah,
you're in the hospital. You see it.
Well, then you see people who, if they're rejected or they feel they can't adapt to society, or people who lose their jobs, disgruntled workers for many of reasons. Guys going up to their wives' job. We have
acting crazy.
This DC sniper. Come to find out, he's trying to get back at his ex-wife or whatever.
Oh, that dude! I remember he shut things down.
He shut it down. He had games canceled.
Yeah, practices.
Weekend,
I couldn't even take Malachi to the backyard because he had the woods right there.
Yeah, and
shooting kids outside of Tasker.
Yeah, and matter of fact, one of the shootings was right up the street from us.
Yeah, Tasker.
So things like this, you can see where it's grown. It would happen once in a while. We would hear, the school shooting. And then, Virginia Tech, the massacre up there. You would hear about it. It would happen. And then maybe a year later, something else would happen. But now it's like every month something's occurring. The thing is, you can't live in fear.
No.
But you do have to watch. You do have to watch, and then that's why, let's take a workplace. That's where teamwork, come back talking again about teamwork. Whereas when you identify people coming in your facility, make sure that, they have a visitor's pass or the right,
credentials to get in.
Instead of just letting somebody just roll through, things like that, or even picking up kids. Somebody come pick up a child. That's why it's good for parents to know each other and know who pick up their child, and then have a supporting parent. Like if you're late, someone that you can really rely on.
But then you have to be on a list, and that's come from the parent.
Right. Yeah. And things like that. So that list, I know when I was growing, there was no list.
And people just picking up.
People like, I'm, come on, you come with me. So, this local terrorism and these, these shootings and things like that. I mean, just look at these people, like the guy in Vegas. I mean, why? Just what's the purpose?
I don't know.
I mean,
the whole story is strange.
You don't know what's going in their mind. So, you get people like the Annapolis shooter. Evidently, he made a threat there before. And I think with these threats, they need to be taken definitely seriously.
Yeah, someone's making a threat.
More serious,
Exactly.
Exactly. I mean, because we see what's happening. If somebody come up, even if, it's not nothing to joke with, be like, I'll come up here and I'll shoot all of you. Even if they just upset,
Yeah, it's no good,
now these days, that's a serious threat.
Yeah.
Things like that. So,
you out of here. We getting you out of here.
Yeah, and the reason I wanted to bring this up because it's happening so much. When this happened to Annapolis and in Annapolis, I'm like, what? What if I just went up there that day just to go up there to get a paper, although I can go in any store. Just went up there.
Me and Jenny was up there for we had a dinner up there for our anniversary.
Yeah.
No, was it last year? No, I can't remember. Birthday? Yeah. I don't know. It was some holiday.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was anniversary.
And and this guy walking, things like that. Of course, we don't know when it's going to happen or where, things like that. It's not for any of us to walk in fear.
Right.
Because then we would be paralyzed and we would be defeated right there.
Staying inside.
But one thing, you can ask your mother, one thing I've done since we dated. When we go to a restaurant.
You bring your gun with you.
It's not Florida, man. I'd rather box a dude. If I lose, I lose, man. No, but seriously.
That's 80s DC for you right there.
Yeah, I'd rather just
fight. Yeah, I'd rather fight somebody and get shot.
Yeah, but but look, hey, you see this cage fighting, don't you?
Yeah, I ain't got time for that.
That's brutal. But no, seriously. But one thing she would attest to is that You know, when we go to a restaurant, I will always position myself at the door to see who's coming in. I mean, and I think this is part of me.
I always thought you held the door because you were just a nice guy.
No,
the whole time you was sizing everybody up.
No. When we sit down at the table,
yeah.
If the entrance is right there, I'm sitting right here. You know, so I can see
with your back against the wall.
So I can see who's coming
I know.
in. Yeah. But you know, it could be somebody behind me. But I've always cased out in the area I go to, you know, way before all of this.
Got to, absolutely.
Look, I think that was part of my growing up, too. That's one thing I just learned from street. You know, you case out the situation.
Check everything.
As you walking into it.
Situational awareness.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, and it doesn't, you know, put me in fear, you know, but it just makes me alert and things like that. And it's sad that a parent has to take a child to school, you know, and where, you know, it's this today, you know. I think that that's why parents need to participate in PTA committees and things like that, you know, to see if there are any current threats going on at the school, any disgruntled parents.
Do you think they should have armed guards in school?
Well, you know, it's actually at that point, you know, and then it was recent, the school in Florida where the little kid went in there and started shooting, and then he tried to walk out with them, and they caught him in one of the fast food restaurants, I think a Taco Bell, or one of them. He went to get something to eat, but they caught him. You know,
it's crazy.
But you know,
child of school want to go eat.
Why?
Mental illness.
Yeah, it is. It is
easy access to guns,
and people not being able to cope, and that's another thing. We can talk. I have a whole show on talking about the NRA.
Yeah,
you know, and how because it's business. You know. But there are, you know, casualties to this business, you know.
It's a dirty business.
You know, do we need, and then guns in the wrong hand, not just these, you know, people with mental illness, but anyone who has a gun, you know, you lose your cool. Yeah. You know, you're going to pull that gun out. And to me, you pull a gun out, you need to fire it, you know, instead of intimidating someone, because that just gives them the ability to come back at you. So
you're saying that if you pull it out, you might as well just shoot before someone can shoot you back.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it comes down to, you know. So, I mean, and we see that, unfortunately, with police just pulling the trigger quick. Yeah. You know, just the thought of a black man having a gun, you know, making a movement, you know, things like that, or reaching. You know, I remember my car broke down a couple of months ago. Okay. I think it was like March. Well, it was more than.
Which one? The Civic?
No. It was.
That thing's like 20 years old. Right?
Hey man,
that's another Tuesday for that one.
I use that car because it reminds me of the grind.
Yeah, I respect it. Keeps me. Why you get rid of the Geo?
The Geo had to go. The Geo wasn't. You know, when you start investing too much in a car, it just got to go, man.
Fair enough.
You know, but that
like the Jag.
Yeah.
So what about this story when your car broke down?
No. The thing was, I think like on 4 or 5 occasions, I had police to pull up behind me, you know, and you know they was asking me, was I, you know what happened? At first they came and you know I told them, I said my car broke down. I'm waiting for the tow truck, but then the same police came back like an hour later, and then next thing you know they pulled behind me. It was 2 of them, so I had to get out the car and stand in the back while they walked around the car. I wasn't going to let them search inside. I saw them looking, but I wasn't going to let them search inside the car. I said, look, you know, this tow truck, the guy's taking a long time. I said, I can't go anyway. The guy said, yeah, you've been here a long time. So he probably thinking I'm casing out some homes to break into, because there was a neighborhood.
What time was it?
This is like 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to work. And that's enough stuff. I was out there all day.
Oh, it's right. He didn't show up to what, like 11, something like that, 10 or 11. The tow man.
No, he showed up like 12:30. I was out there like 5 hours. I put a work day on the road, man. I was like,
call it a sick day.
Yeah. So, you know,
that's too much. But I had something like that happen to me recently.
Yeah, but my point is, you know, and getting back to our topic of, you know, terrorism and, you know, people pulling the trigger real quick. You know, when we go to schools, to work, a social event, things like that, you know, people are just, you know, around looking at each other and be like, you know,
what you gonna do?
You know, are you sitting here ready to, you know, bust off on everybody? But you know, it's just an issue to really continue to speak to and address, You know, I know we have great security systems.
Right. Yeah.
You know, because even with the biggest terrorism that happened in this country, going back to 9/11, you know, I was working in the federal government. I was going to work that day, and that's one time they shut everything down. Nobody could get on and nobody can get off the campus.
Yeah. That's back when he was working at NIH.
Yeah. That woke this country up, you know, because we looked at it, you know, we see these other countries, the terrorisms, you know, they blowing up buildings and
embassies,
and then we, you know,
suicide bombers.
I mean, that's crazy. I mean, how can you stop that? I mean, seriously, you got something.
That's an idea right there, and you can't. It's hard to defeat an idea. You got to win some hearts and minds. Somebody gonna run into a building with a book bag and ready to blow himself up. Yeah, I mean, that's just how do you beat that? How do you even identify that person?
Yeah. I mean, you gotta. Well, I mean, there's a way you got to think deeply on it. Whereas, like, who are these people? Like, for some reason, you if they on the radar, CIA's or whatever radar.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you look at these people, but then you got some people who are not.
Yeah.
You know, like
live normal lives.
Yeah, you minimize the problem. People who probably been in society for years, and then they get the call, you know, Allah said, you know, or the cult said, now it's your time to carry out the mission, and you heavily brainwashing it and invested in it, you know.
And that's that.
All because of disagreements. I mean, do you really want to go and blow up your job just because, you know, they let you go because, you know, of your performance, probably.
Yeah.
You know, and then some jobs have cutbacks, you know, and it's hard for people, things like that. But that's why you go, you know.
People do crazy things when
yourself.
They their backs against the wall.
Well, that's why you was asking me why did I keep going.
Yeah.
Because I don't, you know, all I can do is control what I do. You know, if I go to work and then they decide, you know, Rick, you know we brought you in, but we decided to go a different direction. What I'm going to do, leave.
So the real question then is, what makes you try so hard?
Well, we know it wasn't my father said never give up.
Because they said I couldn't have it.
That's right.
Yeah, Maid of Honor, Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yeah. You have to have
Robert De Niro.
You have to be self-motivated, son. You have to have a vision and goal, and you have to know, if you having, you know, wife and sons, how you want to invest in them, you know. And by that, you're establishing your legacy, you know. So it's not about things. You know, everybody like things like to travel. You know, you pretty much seen the world, and that's a great thing.
Seen almost the entire world.
Yeah, and that's a great thing, and that can encourage your sons. And it was just like when think about one of the lessons I gave you as a man. I'll take you back there. Remember, you was moving from Oklahoma here.
Yeah.
And you wanted to move in the house until you found the house here.
Yeah, for like a month.
Yeah. But I said what?
Told me no.
because that's right. Because you know what? I didn't want you to get comfortable.
Oh, I would have got comfortable.
No. I know you wouldn't. We wouldn't have let you, even though, because I took you back to. I said, remember when we first bought our house and we moved in that apartment.
Oh yeah.
And we had all them boxes we didn't unpack. Yeah. And we lived in there for about 6 months.
I remember.
We didn't make it comfortable because we knew we had a goal beyond that apartment, because we sold our house, our townhouse, and the house that we wasn't ready. So we had to get an apartment in between that. But we was like, okay, we'll put a bed on the floor. We'll set you all up. We get our table, a couch, TV, everything else. We live in boxes, things like that. So you got to have that hunger. You know, you can't get complacent, be like, oh, yeah, we're here now and it looks great. You know, let's just, you know, stay here for a year or two and, you know, get off the focus of the goal. So
apartment was tiny too.
But see, and I used that.
I remember that.
But I used that example as it being local. Now, you were state to state from one state to another. And I told you, I said, okay, give us a couple of places. We'll go look for you. We'll help you.
Yeah. Which you did.
Yeah, but the thing was, and I told you, I say, your wife would feel more comfortable, and your children would be feel more. Not that they wouldn't feel secure in the house, but Ricky, he wouldn't have known. He's a little baby. He wouldn't have known. But
Jet was like 2 months.
But they wouldn't have known. But it's just the fact that you showing your wife that you can provide for the family instead of, you know, taking this little break, you know, coming to the house. I don't care if it was for a week. The thing was, to transition you from one of your homes to another home, things like that. So now, and then I talked to you. I said now. I said next. I said it may be Jet and Ricky coming to you, moving from one country to another country.
Yeah.
And you could use the example how I went local, you went state to state, and they may go country to country, and how to do that transition, things like that. So you know that's how you elevate a generation, things like that. You know, you don't allow them to settle.
Yeah, well, that's perfect. It's a perfect segue.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about baby boomers, millennials, and whatever your generation is. I don't know, what do you call yourself? What are you? You were born in '64.
Well, I'm going to go with the boomers because I believe the boomers are hard-working class. You know, I like to identify myself with the baby boomers. I think I just made it.
You just made it.
Generation X.
I think it was 46 to 64.
Yeah,
was the boomers.
I think I was.
And mine's was Gen X.
Generation X. I think that's a short generation. Well, I don't think it's
nah, it's from like 64 to like 80. And millennials from 80 to I think millennials from 80 or either 84 to like 2000. I
think the millennials are advanced as far as definitely technology, things like that.
Oh, of course.
And being able, because you see little kids, they get a
I come over your house all the time to help you set up stuff.
Help me set up cable.
I got you Sling TV. Had to show you what Netflix was.
You can give me Sling.
Bought you a Fire Stick.
Oh, I don't even use Fire Stick.
No, why not?
Is it illegal?
No. It's not illegal to own one.
No, but I mean, you know, some of the things we have, I know you talking about, you know, be like, oh, you need to upgrade your TV, things like that. You act like I have a black and white television stand with rabbit ears.
Put it like this: well, you got 4K or you got a high definition TV selling 50 inch TV selling for like $300, and I come down to your basement. And I see wherever that thing is down there.
It's not that thing.
Yeah, that thing is horrific. Does it even have an HDMI cord on it?
Yeah, it does.
Do you use it?
When I watch it.
Or do you just plug up a straight aux cable in the back?
You know what?
Because it looks horrible.
When I turn it on, it's a good picture.
That is not a good picture. You know what? You grew up on the UHF, VHF dial TV.
Here we go. See, this is the difference in the generation. You know, just has to be.
I remember Grandma watching us over in back in the old house Southeast. No. And I had to turn the dial from VHF to UHF and hold the antenna and all that.
No, you had to get the pliers to turn the TV.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But don't even know what channel. Only way you knew what channel it was on by the people. Oh, that's NBC.
That TV was around so long. I think Grandma watched the moon landing on that one.
But you know what?
Supposedly.
About those products back then, and we can talk about the washing machines, and we're going back to my mother. Yeah, it lasts long.
It did.
You know, it lasts for generations.
That's true.
But see where with technology today, you know, the business plot is, and I hope you all see it, is that okay? I got an iPhone 6 this year. Next year, I'm gonna bring up the height, the intensity. Make the lines long, make everybody go out the night before.
I ain't doing all that.
For work to get an iPhone 7. And I go in and I look, I say, what's the difference? Well, you know, the screen. I'm like, come on, man. The screen is a little different. I'm like, how much is it? It's $800. Be like, really?
You gotta get a flip phone.
But see, the thing is, it's about the principle. Mm-hmm. When I see quality, it doesn't matter what store I go to, whether I want to get a shirt and tie.
Yeah.
If I like the quality of a shirt, because I like a nice shirt.
Okay.
I'm not going to go cheap on a shirt.
Joseph A. Bank. All right.
I'm not going to go cheap on a shirt and tie and shoes. You know.
Armani and scrubs.
You know, hey. I'm not, you know, I'm going to get good quality, you know, with that. But my point is that it doesn't matter where I get it from.
Uh-huh.
You know, if I get a 2-for-1 deal, because I've gotten shirts out Walmart, and they ain't last me for years. I got shirts from just different places. I caught a $5 sale on some white shirts.
Well, I know.
And I asked you, I said, how much you think this cost? You go, about $40, $50. I say, no, $5.
Who said that?
You.
I didn't say that.
Yes, you did.
When?
It was a couple years, I guess.
Off a white tee?
No, a white shirt.
Like a collar?
Yeah.
A button up?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah,
all right.
No, I think you talking about that shirt. I'm like,
no. White dress shirt.
All right, got you.
White dress shirt. So my thing is with I see the baby boomers is that we had to go step by step and grind and get things, you know. And there's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong if things happen quick for you. Because some things happen in a short time, some things over a period of time it takes. But I just seen where, you know, the baby boomers had, was a great workforce. And we just had to work for everything. You had to, you know, put in the years of service at the job. But millennials, what I see, they come on the job 6 months later, they want a raise. What have you done? You know,
I can't really speak on. I'll get into that in a second, but I think a lot of things that have changed is mostly the economy. You got to think how it was in the '60s. You know, you can take the civil test for the government.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you immediately out of high school working 60,000. You retire. 20 years later.
Yeah.
Now
That's the old system.
Yeah. Now if you have a bachelor's degree, who knows what it's going to do for you?
Yeah.
You better get a master's,
Yeah.
and then maybe you can get a job that kind of equates that.
Yeah.
It's just been a difference right now.
Yeah, that's the difference.
And then you got to think student loans.
Yeah.
You already start off a job, you $100K in debt, and the rest of your life you're working just to pay that off.
Yeah.
So
Is
it's
that
just
a smart plan?
no,
Really.
not at all. You might as well, at this rate, you might as well just go in the military for 4 years, get your GI Bill, and then go to school and do what you want to do.
Yeah, be smart like
Yeah,
that.
that's the best. Or have a great idea and start a business.
Yeah.
Something, or bounce a basketball.
Just be innovative and not getting in debt, because college tuition is crazy.
Yeah, you can't start off life, 70,000. I got some friends.
Yeah.
I know. Got 22, 23, bachelor's degree, 70,000 in debt. They paid it off for the rest of their life.
That's a lot. And then that's
Too
not
much.
That's not counting interest on it.
Yeah,
And then if
accrued
you miss-
interest, all that.
And then if you miss a payment,
Oh, woo.
it's, and then everybody wants to keep up with their friends. If they got friends that's doing well, and that's how people get in debt.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to be left out.
Yeah.
You can't always be at the party. Can't always, be at the good time spot.
Good time, Charlie.
He's gonna be there every weekend. We can count on him. So you learn it as you get older. You have to invest your money wisely. For a rainy day.
Yeah.
Things like that. So, the millennials. I say they're a workforce. They definitely a force, and I just it's just a different approach.
Mm-hmm.
But the basic things is that we can see the music changing. Like with my generation.
Oh yeah, that
lyrics meant something.
I ain't gonna argue on that.
I don't know what the lyrics are. With today. But
you got a lot of guys out there and girls still doing their thing. But I mean, yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Who?
Yeah, Kendrick Lamar, you out there, making it happen.
What's he making happen?
You've heard a CD of his before. You heard an album. No, I don't say CD. I know you old school.
No, I'm not that. Album was my mother's.
I got a vinyl record for you.
No, that was my mother's. The album in 45s and all that stuff. You
got a lot of
record player.
You got a lot of guys here still doing their thing.
Yeah, they doing their thing, and it's not knocking them.
But it's not like what it used to be.
No, my thing is when it comes to music, I'm more like, what are the lyrics saying?
Yeah.
Because the beat's going to get you. I don't care if it's a beat back in the 60s, 70s. Mm-hmm. Or this year, or moving forward, the beat will always get you. Is what's being said. What's the message of the song? Is it a love song? Is it a song just one night stand? Is it something?
Okay.
The lyrics,
There's a lot of love songs back in your generation.
Yeah, real love songs.
Yeah, for sure. I ain't knocking it.
So even go. You go to. They used to call it, the baby making songs. You go to some of Luther Vandross, or you go back,
Pendergrass.
You go back to, Temptations and all, and that's my mother.
Motown.
But Luther was more my generation. But
that was
Motown was my mother's.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was.
Like
that was the '60s. Yeah.
Yeah, but my thing with music, who's this young lady? She's doing her thing. A lot of people don't like her. What's her name? Cardi B.
Oh, Cardi B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what are her lyrics?
I mean,
no, I'm saying she's doing.
Oh yeah.
Believe me.
I mean, her lyrics about her life. Who she is. I mean, she's got a ghostwriter for some hits, but some of the lyrics pertain to her and who she is. She's stripping on the pole and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, she ain't hiding away from it. No. I mean, everybody's life experience is different. That. Yeah.
I mean, and that's the thing. That's you know your story.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not ashamed of it. If you put it in lyrics, so be it. But you look at the consistencies of those groups back, in the 60s and 70s, how they still today are still singing their oldie goldies or whatever they want, golden hits and things like that. But they had that consistency, of a 40-year career, things like that. These artists,
There ain't no such thing as a 40-year career these days.
these jokers, even
That just ain't.
the Vanilla Ice, the one and done hit, things like that. But they go.
All right, that was your guy right there.
No, it wasn't.
You was out there dancing, ice, ice, baby.
No, I wasn't. And I wasn't dancing a hammer either.
Oh, didn't you have a pair of hammer pants?
No, I didn't. And I didn't have bell bottoms.
Oh, I hope not.
Like I say, my thing, you want to see the earrings in my ear, things like that. I like jewelry. I like this watch. That's about it. Things
In a wedding ring.
And I'm not. Yeah. I'm not knocking anybody what they do, like the Mr. T. I didn't go all crazy, getting all gold chains around and rashes around my neck.
Oh,
neck
like turning green.
Shoot.
Yeah, I'm good on that.
That's his thing. But I don't knock anybody for their life, things like that. Where I get into it with people is when they try to get into other people's business and bring them down, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think people should use that as a motivation to see, when other people want to bring you down, they see something in you great. Or why do they want to bring you down? Because it's something they can't accomplish. And I learned that in high school. I had a counselor to tell me that.
Crabs in the barrel.
Yeah, absolutely. And unfortunately, our people have to learn. I was going to sign up for a math class.
Okay.
I think it was geometry.
What grade was this?
This was like the 9th or 10th grade.
All right.
And then I didn't want to do it. And he said, why don't you want to? And he being a counselor, he said, why don't you want to do it? And I remember this guy was a white guy. He had blonde hair. Name escapes me. But I said, well, a lot of students, they said, it's hard. And I was telling him that. He said the reason they saying it's hard because they can't pass it. And if you go in and take it and you pass it, you're doing something that they couldn't do. So they don't want you to do it. So that was the message that he conveyed to me, things like that. So, back then I was pretty good in math, so I took it, passed it, of course. But it just showed me, don't listen to people when they tell you, you know what, this is hard right here. If I were you,
I don't know. I probably wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't do it, because when I did it, it didn't work for me. So I'm pretty sure you won't get the same results. Like, okay, yeah, things like that. But the other thing, get back on point with the millennials.
Yeah, how do you feel about it? How do you feel about the generation?
Well,
you got a lot of hit pieces out there.
It's the
a lot of bad articles.
You gotta understand. Everybody has a dispensation of time of what they're supposed to accomplish.
Right.
And that was one of the messages actually that we learned in church earlier this year. We have a certain time to accomplish things. But with the millennium, and comparing music to our generation is totally different.
Oh, of course.
And
every generation. 5 years ago was different.
Yeah, but but I don't see these songs where you're going to hear 20 years from now.
I see what you mean, like classics.
Yeah, you can take any of Luther hits and play them now. You can even go with some of I mentioned Temptations or OJ's or groups like that, and even the Jackson 5. They went for generations, but they're more out. From our generation. You're going to hear their music, and then someone like James Brown, who these artists today sample from. He's the most sampled artist.
Brown, yeah.
He had, hit after hit. You go with Al Green.
Right.
Guys with lyrics, who was really, just singing meaningful songs and things that were, that related to times and things, so.
You got, it's not that generation at all when it comes to music, but like I said, you got guys out here doing something like Kendrick Lamar, The Pimp a Butterfly.
Yeah. Okay.
Great piece of classical work. But even the sound of that music is a sound of kind of like it has like a jazz feel to it. So I mean, I do see what you're saying. Yeah. So even me putting that out there kind of gives you a little bit of credit.
I'm pretty sure that jazz probably came from someone like a Miles Davis, someone like that. So these artists, they sample from, even my generation, they sample from these artists who really learn to play the instruments, your Ray Charles and, artists like that. So I think it's just a difference. But then, just like I do my whole CD on my computer. Where's my drummer at? Where's my my horn section?
Oh, you talking like some live instrumentation?
Yeah,
that's what you want.
I want the real. Would you say keep it organic?
Yeah.
Keep it organic. Yeah,
you don't want an electric pad that plays instruments?
I don't want to go to a show. I don't want to go to a show, and then you got the artist coming out, and then back of him, got the guy playing, the music from his laptop, things like that,
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. I'm right there with you. I love live instrumentation.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's just genuine, and even your mother and I, we went to a show back on Valentine's Day, and we saw this artist Kim,
Okay.
And the guy, he's doing his thing. He told his story, how he came up and all that, but he had his whole section there. So, and even the brother said, "Look, this is grown folk music right here."
Hey.
And the music, you listen. I'm a lyric person, It's a couple of times I missed out on lyrics, but it has meaning to it. And when you can relate to something and you have that same path, you become a fan of that artist.
So I'll put it like this: I'm not gonna argue music with you. I'll give you music all day.
Okay,
but it's one thing you're gonna give me: athletes.
Now we can go there. That's next too.
I don't know. I'm gonna take athletes all day.
It depends on where we cut off at.
I'm talking today's athletes. What do you mean we cut off at? Like
with the athletes, because some of them started in my generation, like LeBron.
No, not your generation.
LeBron
is 33.
Yeah, but he started. But you got to remember, he came out in high school.
Yeah, I remember.
So he came in the NBA, 2003. Okay, so yeah. Okay, I give you him.
Yeah,
I give you LeBron.
But I think I put it like this: I think today's athletes are just better built. They're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster than the athletes of like the 70s. Yeah, I look at those guys. Yeah. All of them were like frail. D. Lyman was like 6'1", 220. It just was.
But they wasn't all popping steroids and Balco and all that. And having the test and getting suspended 4 to 8 games in the season and retesting and getting suspended again.
That's your guys right there. That's your people. That's all of them. Rafael Palmeiro. I didn't do it. I ain't take it. Yeah, that's your people right there.
But I think my generation has the greatest athlete of all time.
Jordan?
Absolutely.
Jordan the best?
Jordan, I mean, come on, man. I mean, I say that, I don't honestly.
I've argued this one, and I go back and forth.
I don't take anything compared to LeBron or Kobe.
Nah, I want to put Kobe over LeBron.
It's Kobe. Kobe came in 90 what? So he would be my generation.
Yeah, Kobe's
No, I give him to the millennials.
No, Kobe's
a millennial.
No, Kobe's my generation. Was it Generation X? Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So he's our generation. So
yeah.
But my thing is someone like a Pat Ewing and
Pat Ewing can't play in today's game.
Man,
yeah, he could.
Come on. Akeem Olajuwon?
Yeah. No, I tell you who could. No, I'm telling like those guys could play in today's game. But I took guys who couldn't play.
Who?
Like Charles Oakley.
You crazy.
Charles Oakley, what's he going to do?
Serious? No, he would do what he did.
And what was that? By the time he hit 30, what was he doing? He'd been out the league.
Let me tell you something. Charles Oakley played a role like
you can't defend
bad boys and all that.
Yeah, I know, but the game's not played like that anymore.
Yeah.
The game's more finesse. You got centers out here shooting threes.
Yeah.
Charles Oakley, the game back then was played a little bit tighter to the paint. Now the game is a full 94 feet.
Yeah, it's open. I mean,
Oakley ain't hitting threes, and he can't defend, guards. Then
he couldn't guard someone like a Kevin Durant or
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, back then you had some big men that would just sit back and like Sam Perkins, would sit back and shoot the three.
See, Perkins was ahead of his time.
Huh?
Perkins was ahead of his time.
Yeah, but I think he was even a little criticized that he'd been a big man, but he had to play his smooth game.
Yeah, that's big smooth.
Robert Horry.
Robert Horry, another big man.
Yeah,
who play, stretch four.
My thing is, if you can elevate your game before it's time, you do that. And see, that's about being a trailblazer and creativity.
Mm-hmm.
So overall, the athletes, they. I don't know. I wouldn't give you that one. We have to have just go back and forth on that because someone like Michael Jordan, the Scottie Pippen, the Dennis Rodman. They played roles. Guys like Isaiah Thomas.
But Robin's defense was Robin's defense was amazing.
Okay, I
and
tell
rebounding.
You this. Tell me an athlete today. Did you ever see that game when Isaiah Thomas twisted his ankle?
Yeah. I watched the 30 for 30.
Who would continue that game in today?
Who would do that today?
Not they would be out for the game. They wouldn't come back in. They go right back in that little locker room.
Yeah, I think Chris Paul play.
No, he wouldn't.
Yeah, he would. He absolutely
Chris
would
Paul's tough, but he wouldn't have did that. Did he play with his hamstring?
You can who's gonna play with a ham?
Did you see Isaiah's ankle?
It was bad. But you can still. The thing is, on the ankle, you can still run around the ankle if you have the adrenaline going. But as soon as you sit for a little bit,
you
got
the adrenaline going with a hamstring.
Nah, once you do something to a hamstring, you ain't going. You ain't doing nothing. That's bone and muscle.
My point is, you're not going to have an athlete today, that's going to continue their game because one.
That's not true. No. John Wall recently, you saw him. He was playing with bad knees.
Who don't play with bad knees? That's a given with especially basketball players.
Yeah, he had to get surgery. He was out for 2 months after that. But he was playing games that he shouldn't have played. Isaiah Thomas. My Isaiah Thomas of our generation. He had the bad hip that cost him millions.
So you think these guys are more physical today than back in
more physical? No, I don't think so. Yeah. I don't think
so. That's why a lot of them probably if they get fouled like these guys used to get fouled back in the day.
Those fouls back that was just
those are flavors. Yeah. Those are flavors. I admit that.
That was your basketball. Dude was getting a punch. I watched my highlights. Man, it was
except for Larry Johnson and Alonzo. They was.
Like I watched like that Pistons Celtics series back in the 80s. That thing was brutal.
Yeah.
That was some basketball though. Yeah. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching that one.
And that's how Michael Jordan even knew he had to hit the weights.
The Jordan rules.
Because Detroit used to beat him up, man.
Oh yeah.
He used to come in that paint. Nobody gets a layup.
Nah.
Without getting punched.
I would like to see would like to see LeBron in that era. I'd be highly curious to see.
LeBron's a great player.
Yeah.
But those type of fouls, things like that, even fouls now, LeBron, you see him,
I mean, he does this flopping thing, I don't like that.
But see, they would have really went after him, doing the flopping things. They would have had, not only would they foul and they would have failed on top of him, things. I
don't think we did in that era. I think it's just different eras.
Yeah. And see, again, dispensation, a lot of that isn't allowed. And if we talk about football, a lot of those hits on quarterback. On the loud.
Yeah.
I mean, Turkey Jones, the way he slammed Terry Bradshaw back in the day, that was just brutal. I was like, I saw Bradshaw bounce off the ground.
Did you watch the game live when Theismann broke his leg?
You know what? I saw that game, but that play, I missed that play. But then, just that hit, on Theismann, that ended that man's career.
Yeah.
But I think today's technology with the advancement of medicine, players can bounce back from that because you look
bounce back from ACLs. ACLs is in careers.
Yeah, and torn Achilles and things like that. Yeah, they really. But now, I ripped my Achilles, and I'm not a professional athlete, but I was playing league ball.
Yeah,
and I did it in April and November. I was back on the court.
Yeah,
playing just regular league ball. So
rehab.
Yeah, just the rehabilitation and the knowledge of medicine and the way, surgery, these players they're rehabbing, look at Paul George. He's back on the court,
That was a gruesome injury. I watched that game live.
And I got from Louisville.
Kevin Ware. I've never watched that one. I don't want to see it.
Yeah, no.
I had a knee
I
problems.
gotta look at that stuff, man.
You have to?
Yeah, I gotta see it.
Why? Because you're in the medical field. That's why.
I just had to see how that bone broke. But
that's absolutely disgusting.
But the bone heals.
Sean Livingston, his injury.
Yeah, but look at him. He's back on the court.
Oh yeah, he's had a decent career. He came to the Wizards to rehab for a couple years. They went on to the Warriors to win the championship.
He got like 3 of them, right?
Yeah. What do you think about that? Kevin Durant moving to Golden State.
Talking
about millennials. What do you think of that move right there? You saw recently in the news. He's been on social media fighting with teenagers. Exactly.
Why? He doesn't have to.
Yeah.
It's just like, if I see a text that I get out, I don't want to respond to it. No response necessary. I think that's the best way for Kevin, personally, if I was his, agent or publicist or something like that. I'd be like, you don't need to respond to that. Don't give it breath.
He's doing it. He's giving it life.
That's how you give it life.
Yeah.
But if you choke it out, by not responding, then just make that
goes
person
away.
look like the fool.
Yeah, and
They
not
keep
to mention,
talking.
there's some dude out there with like 14 followers on Twitter, getting at him. And then you got Kevin Durant, 2-time NBA champion, second best player on the world right now, over here hopping in his DM, telling him, go back and clean your room up. Don't be calling me this, that, and the third. I don't like it.
It's
I don't
not
like
just
it
about him. See, it's about everyone who's been getting on Durant, and all those comments have got under his skin. Whereas now this kid has come, and he's kind of tired of it and exploded. But I mean, the guy's a great player.
Absolutely.
I mean, you look at the team that they had in Oklahoma when it was Durant, Harden, and Westbrook,
and Ibaka.
Everybody else, Ibaka had his role, but that team,
they were just young.
But
and then they got injured.
They had to go through the growing pains. So all three of them are great players, potential Hall of Famers.
Oh, all of them, they're definitely Hall of Famers. All three are MVPs now. Different squads.
They're doing their thing, but a team like that. I mean, you look at Golden State. They got. Now they just add Cousins to the team, but with Durant,
he's got to
getting
rehab.
back to that, and getting back to our point of the millennial generation athletes, and versus the baby boomer athletes
or generation.
You look at someone like the Pittsburgh Steelers team back when they had
Steel Curtain.
Well, who would beat them this day?
Oh, the Steel Curtain,
or the '85 Bears?
I like to see the '85 Bears defense. That's just nasty. I like to see some combine reports. They see how fast these guys were.
A lot of them, I think, athletes today are faster because of the training.
Yeah,
they're able to get that
better
point
shape. Because those guys were like work. They would be in the. They'll play football. Then off season, they go back to the construction job.
Yeah, now there's no off season. So in that sense, athletes are better and more.
They would come to training camp to get in shape.
Yeah,
and now guys is. I mean, they're working out all year round.
Yeah. So, but now you look at guys. They just physically fit year round.
Yeah.
And they playing these. These. Of course, athletes always participate in the Olympics and things. Just other events during the off season. But I mean, you look at a defense like a Steel Curtain or a running game like Pittsburgh had, or even Miami back in the day when it was the existence of the fullback like a Larry Zonka. That guy was hard to bring down. Earl Campbell?
Do you miss the fullback position?
I do. You know why? Because it was the running game. I enjoy the running game.
I like a good running game
if
too.
You can run down somebody's throat, do it all day.
Yeah.
Same play.
Yeah.
Same play.
Yeah.
Counter tray.
23 blasts.
Give it to Riggins. Let them just run.
Yeah.
Let Lachey and all them guys, Joe Jacoby and them. Just open the hole for him.
The fullback has become an extra tight end or a slot receiver.
Yeah.
So
and even the game of football is now more of a passing game.
Oh yeah.
Unless the team just established the running game and get your Elliott's. So backs like that, where they're your first, second, and third down back,
which is a rare breed too. In itself.
But you going to see that with this kid coming from Penn State.
Saquon Barkley. That guy's going to be good.
And it's just like...
make sure you draft him in the first round if you can. If you're in the back half of the first round, take him.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
So, those running backs, but, you look at true running backs, back in the day, like a Roger Craig, just running the ball hard,
The Nigerian Nightmare.
Just running the ball hard. Just hard. You getting hit as you're hitting it, and now, but so it's definitely something to always have a discussion about, and you're always going to have differences on who's the better athlete. But to me, it's about who's the better team.
Yeah,
that's what it comes down to. The better team, not the better athlete, is not going to win the Super Bowl or the NBA championship unless you got Michael Jordan, or Magic Johnson.
How would you have felt if
and that way, real quick, with Magic, that was the reinvention of a big man running a point guard, 6'9" point guard.
Yeah, that's why him and LeBron.
Yeah, they could play center.
Yep,
power forward,
1 through 5.
Yeah, and he did that in championship game against Philly. Kareem got hurt.
Yeah, he played center.
He played center.
I mean, he got the height for it.
Knocked down 42.
They said Bron may play some center this year.
For who? Lakers?
Yeah,
don't play no center.
Yeah, he's gonna play some 5. You got to realize the game is small ball.
Yeah,
you have a lineup of Lonzo or Rondo. Let's just say you have Lonzo out there. You got Caldwell Pope, the 3, you could put Brandon Ingram.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got a Kuzma, a stretch 4. Then you got Bron at the 5. That lineup would hurt people. And you can switch everything in that lineup too as well. You can guard the play defense on the Warriors. Yeah. Everybody just building teams to beat the Warriors. Yeah, that's all it is.
But LeBron, he's definitely proven himself. I mean, the past 7-8 years he's been in the NBA championship.
Yeah, so whatever, 8 straight finals.
And the thing is, when he leaves these teams, like when he left Cleveland the first time,
bad.
He left Miami,
bad.
He just left Cleveland.
They're going to be bad.
Yeah, they may make the playoffs because the Eastern Conference is not that strong. So
I beg to differ. I think the Eastern Conference is actually pretty strong. You got Kawhi in Toronto now,
and
Boston's gonna be good.
Okay,
yeah, they bring Kawhi and Hayward back. Philly's gonna keep rising.
Okay, I get you.
Oladipo and the Pacers are good.
Yeah,
the Milwaukee Bucks and the Greek Freak, you can't count them out.
And our hometown.
Shout out to the Wizards. They made a lot of key moves. Yeah, Austin Rivers off the bench.
Okay, but
Howard in the paint, got rid of Gortat. Thank God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gortat, that's another outdated center right there who belongs in your game of basketball.
No, he don't belong. How you make it? Send him back. How you make the NBA? He don't make layups. He don't make free throws. Or I don't know.
Can't shoot outside the paint. Can't win with him. Can't coach him. Sound like Mike Singletary. You're talking about 85 Bears.
So what you do with this guy? But someone like a Shaq in today, all you can do is the same thing as foul him. Shaq would have been. I mean, he was a great player, but I mean,
the problem with Shaq,
if he just had like a jump shot and free throws.
The problem with Shaq is to me, is conditioning. Like after he left Miami, like he got to Miami, he was just. I feel like he wasn't working on as hard.
Probably.
He got slow.
Probably his knees.
Yeah,
I think the wear and tear on his body really got him.
Yeah, and that's one thing about players. I don't like to see guys like Melo now, like hopping from team to team towards the end of the career. Like he played with the Suns, then he played
Denver.
Not in Denver. He went to Boston. Yeah. Shaq in a Boston uniform, and then you had him in Cleveland.
Who you talking about, Shaq?
Yeah, Shaq.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like to see guys like remember Patrick Ewing toward the end. He went and played with the Seattle. Yeah. Then he signed with the Magic after that. Hakeem was with the Raptors for a year.
Hey man, they gotta keep it going.
You got for the paycheck, but it's just a bad. Gary Payton with the Heat.
Yeah,
and then the Lakers.
I think it hits on their legacy too. You don't have that Magic Johnson. That's just gonna stay with the Lakers.
Well, no, I ain't saying being like a Reggie Miller, but like LeBron is like. Yeah. You choose where you go to, or like Paul George. I choose to be here. Yeah. Kind of like that. I don't like to see guys scores like when they probably should retire. Yeah. And just bouncing around like to me, Melo. I think Melo's just done.
Yeah.
If he wants to start in this league, he's not a starter. He can't play any defense, and he can't hit spot up threes. Yeah. He's a dinosaur in today's game.
I think Houston's going to hurt. In that position, because my man who went to Phoenix, he played defense. And to me,
Ariza. His career got revived here in Washington.
Yeah, and then
playing next to John Wall. I mean, you had Porter in the wings, so I mean,
yeah, but still, he would have been good here.
And then that's when they signed. He would have. And that's when they signed Paul George, not Paul George, but Paul Pierce.
Yeah,
he was good. He was good for him. But but just get back full circle to it. I have love for the baby boomers. I feel like y'all pretty much kind of like on your rocker right now. Kind of shouting at the world, screaming about phones and younger people.
Look, we going strong.
But you know what? I feel like that not cut you off. I feel like every generation does that about the next generation below them. Like they just talk about the young people. When I get older, who knows? Maybe we do the same thing. It's just the way of life.
It is.
They ain't doing like we did it. This, that, and the third.
It's not meant to be.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Somehow you got to show advancement. We can't keep doing things the same way and expect better results. Somehow we have to elevate, what we're currently doing to, just move society up. But then again, we also have to be aware of, how we're doing things and how it's going to affect, our country. I mean, because now, people, they go on social media and they just put everything on there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, why? Everybody.
People feel like it's an outlet
you
for them
don't
to
have
talk.
8,000 friends.
Yeah, and exactly.
You know,
And they shouldn't be doing that.
you don't have 8,000 friends, things like that. But if that's something you want to do, just be aware of your surroundings and
Everybody
what
wants a
you're
voice.
exposing.
Yeah.
Everybody can't be a superstar. It's not meant
exactly.
for everyone. Just like these.
Agreed.
Not knocking reality stars and things like that. That's everybody have to make their living. But are they a star because they're putting their life on TV and letting everybody in their home? And is that really a star? Compared to standards of what a star is supposed to be. As far as acting and being professional athletes. In that realm, pretty much. Not pretty much. You come in my home, see me arguing with people, fighting with people, things like that. But it also, again, I'm going on both sides. It also is a way for some people have introduced brands. They've started, brands from, these reality shows. So it's been very profitable for some people. But hey, I'm not.
Can't knock the hustle.
I definitely can't knock the hustle or the grinding.
Yeah.
So because I know, you want to take this to the next level.
Day by day, podcast by podcast.
Yeah. All you need is, the right investor, sponsor, and then, of course, you keep getting good stories on there. Really doesn't
different people, all walks of life.
Yeah. That's what we have to show, different people and listen and learn to each other. That's how we can help each other, because just because we look different and we disagree don't mean we have to hate each other as people.
Right.
No, we still have issues, whether we like it or not, issues of racism still exist. The LGBT, lesbian, gays, bisexual communities are being harassed for their choices. Christianity, based on people's religion and belief, they've been harassed because we don't have the same God, so I'm going to go and blow your church up, because you don't believe, I have different views and values from you. If you do, you do. Don't mean I'm going to, if you sit up here and tell me you believe in this cult and you do this and that, it don't mean that I'm going to come and burn your building up. I'm not a part of it.
Right, yeah.
I know what my belief is. I know what I do. I know where I have to grow at. I identify that, and then, I just move forward with my life. That's pretty much staying in my lane. It's all meant for us to help, other people, things like that. So,
at the end of the day, there's not enough love in the world.
Hey, love never fails. Love never fails.
That's true.
Never fails.
All right, let's go ahead and wrap this thing up.
Yeah, man.
I got my kids inside, got the wife inside, so.
All right, cool.
Let's go ahead and do what we do. So, any parting words you want to say? We definitely have you back on here.
Oh, most definitely. Bring me in with the group. Actually,
gotta get the elder.
Keep y'all straight.
Yeah.
Man. Y'all be wilding out. I be looking at that. I was like, look at them. They just sitting up here. The one from the family day. Cousins, second cousin day. That was interesting. Y'all was just sitting back. Seemed like all of you all was relaxed, looking forward to going into the the next day. Enjoying family and food and fun.
Food was good.
Yeah,
fun was great.
Things like that. So definitely.
Oh, hold on 1 second, Pops. I'm gonna take this phone call. That's right, on air. What's up, babe? Hey. Yeah.
He's on the phone. He's getting ordered.
All right.
To come
go ahead and start
to the
getting ready.
house.
Did you already feed the kids? All right, cool. All right, see you in a little bit.
He's getting family instructions.
All right, love you, bye.
Good man, listening to his wife. So we're gonna.
I always think if someone calls me on the podcast, I always pick it up.
Oh really?
Yeah, keep it organic. Why not? I just keep it short with him, but I pick it up.
Well,
unless I'm in like a heated discussion, I'm like, all right, just get back to you. But
so we're not in a heated discussion.
I would hope not.
I mean, heated discussion doesn't mean it could be a disagreement.
Yeah.
That's one thing guy passed, but real quick, Dr. Stephen Covey, who did the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and then I believe he came out with the 8th habit of highly effective people. But he talked about the Indian walking stick or something like that. Whereas when we have a disagreement, I sit down and I listen to your statement and your opinions, and I let you get it across, and then vice versa. And then we try to understand why we feel, pretty much the way we do about a certain issue or situation, especially if it's the same issue and we have different values of it, things like that. So definitely, thank you, Mother. Make sure I give her a shout out.
Love you, Ma.
Love you, Ma. And my mother, I'm glad she's getting better.
Love you, Grandma.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I have to barbecue her some chicken tomorrow, which you're dropping off.
All right, I'm on the way. What are we eating tomorrow? What's on the menu, real quick? Now we get out of here.
Well, we're not going to, we're just going to, barbecue some food tomorrow, some chicken, hamburgers, hot dogs, and, have some nice sides tomorrow. Welcome our new family.
First cousin.
Yeah. First cousin, true bloodline.
Absolutely.
That we just found out from Ancestry.com. That's amazing.
You got to do yours.
Yeah. Come to find out, one thing I know I have
Nigerian.
Well, yeah, but no, seriously, on my father's side,
yeah.
I know he had, which I never met, a couple of kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea where they're at?
I have no idea. I don't know if
Ancestry didn't pop anything up.
Don't know if it's like one or two. So I'll eventually do it. I know your mother just did, which confirmed that Tony's,
Well, it confirmed.
I know.
It confirmed when I did it.
I know it.
The only thing confirmed was that she's my mom.
No. It's just more evidence. It's just more credible evidence. But like some tests can have a flaw in it.
That's true.
But it was a repeat. It say, hey, the first test showed this results. The second test showed this result. And that DNA had got brothers out of jail too.
That's true.
Unfortunately, they spend like 30 years and then come back. Hey,
hopefully
the witness lied and things like that. But yeah, good discussions with you.
Absolutely.
We'll bring this back and have some new topics to discuss.
Yeah, next one. I definitely want to get AJ and Pat on here with us.
Yeah.
Make it a family affair.
Yeah, definitely we can do that. So, yeah.
All right.
So, when you want my final thoughts?
That was your final thoughts.
That was my final thoughts?
Yeah, or not. You be here talking all night.
Hey.
All right, let's see if I can do this right here. Hold on 1 second. Back to 9. All right.